FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG, it's coming. 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 Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hope y'all doing all right. We're going to get right on into it. I have something special for you guys. I consider this to be preliminary. I compiled not all of them, but a significant enough of the donation figures that Umar Johnson has given over the years to put it into a timeline. And even though this is preliminary, it will prove without a shadow of a doubt that Umar Johnson has stolen money that was supposed to be used for FDMG, and he's used it on himself. And I will prove it conclusively during this live stream, early on in this live stream. Okay, so I have something special for you guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. We started with this video yesterday. Umar was interviewed. The podcast, I think it's SOS, and they're associated with the Danza Project. I think it's I guess you can say a subsidiary of the Danza Project. And we watched some segments from that interview. And what I did today, that's why I'm running late, is I had to put the segments together, and I put it into one video that we're going to specifically focus on from that entire interview. The most important segments where Umar's talking about FDMG and he's lying about other stuff too. We're going to be specifically focusing on those segments. And at a certain point, I'm going to provide you guys with a series of receipts that will prove conclusively that by 2019, Umar Johnson had stolen, used for himself at bare minimum, $600,000. I'm going to prove it. Okay, thank you guys again for tuning on in. Shout out to everyone who started Cookie Fresh Chat. We got a couple of members that tuned in, that became members today. Niagara Falls Red, thank you so much. I did 2 videos for members last week and 3 the week before that. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Also, Seattle Connected became a member. Thank you so much. And shout out to all of the members too. I appreciate your support, sincerely. Thank you so much. And then Miss Honey says, I can't wait until Umar's behind bars for his scams. Yeah, we will have to wait and see. I've talked about this. He has to hit critical mass. He hasn't gotten there yet. Inevitably, if he continues this indefinitely, he's going to face some consequences, in particular wire fraud. I want to say something else. I know I called it the FDMG school scam. Okay, I was coined that phrase many, many years ago. The FDMG school scam. But the scam is not the school per se. The scam is associated with the school. The scam is the money. And if you do your due diligence in terms of researching the money aspect of this, you'll see how it is a scam. That most of the money that Umar Johnson has received, he's used on himself. Most of the money, the donation money he's received for FDMG has gone towards himself. I'm going to prove it during this live stream. Okay, I've already proven it in the past, but I have it lined up step by step for everyone. So let's keep that in mind. That FDMG is really the means to the end. The end is to scam and get money out of people. And the way that Umar does that is by promising to open up a school. And he's been promising to open up a school since 2010. Point of fact, it was before that, because he was talking about FDMG before that. He said that the grand opening was supposed to be September 11, 2013. So he's dangled that in front of people and manipulated people for over a decade now to get people to send him money for a school that still does not exist to this day. All right. Okay. Let's get right on into it because we got quite a bit to cover. I want to thank everyone again. What's up, Chastity? Thanks for tuning on in. Felix is in the building as well for the sake of Logic, a Kilo, Soul Power is in the building as well. Thank you as well. And how's it going, Francisca? Thanks for being here. Shout out to all the mods. How's it going, Cotton? Okay, here we go. let's get right on into it. And you know what? I don't have it. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Here we go.
Raising Douglas Marcus Garvey Academy fundraiser. I'm going back to 2015. So we're still within our first year of fundraising. Some of my enemies within and without the Black community contacted GoFundMe and alleged that there was no intent to ever purchase a school and there was no intent to ever operate a school on my behalf. And so I was contacted by GoFundMe administration, and they shared the allegations that were made against me, most of them coming from YouTubian struggle streamers motivated by jealousy and envy. And I, at the time,
Yeah, he always thinks that people are jealous of him. That's part of the narcissism. There's a particular personality type where they think that everyone's jealous of them, but they're the ones who are jealous of other people. And Umar, he fits that bill.
we had not found a school. So all the funds that we had raised up until that time, this is spring of 2015, roughly, all the funds were in the account. In other words, there was no withdrawals because we hadn't found no school. So what I did was I contacted the bank and I told the bank that I was being accused of fraudulent behavior with the monies raised. And I said, would they be willing to speak with the administration of GoFundMe? They said, no problem. Give us the information, give them our information, have them give us a call, and we will show them whatever paperwork they need to see. So I actually sent the bank statements to GoFundMe so they could see that there had never been a single withdrawal on the donation account. The bank also gave them the opportunity to question them. They never called the bank to verify. They never had any questions about the bank statements I sent them from 2014 to 2015. And
Yeah, to be clear, Umar never provided any proof of any of what he's saying here. And that's one of the big things of dealing with Umar and his scamming ways is that he never provides any proof of anything that he says. Okay, there's no receipts. Okay, but I have receipts. Okay, that's an issue of transparency. He makes up things all the time, right?
one day, I don't know where I was. I think I was on South Street in South Philadelphia, and I started getting notifications from the bank that GoFundMe was refunding donations to donors of FDMG without any notice to me at all. They were going to take out all of the donations without any reason.
Okay, and this is Umar. He embellishes things. He always makes things appear to be far worse than what it really is. It's to try to play the victim. He's a perpetual victim. He perceives himself as a sort of martyr, and that everyone's always trying to sabotage him, and he's always a victim. No, it's not that they were going to refund everything out of the account from his bank account. And by the way, when he tells a story in the past, what Umar would do is he would talk about how the money in the GoFundMe was not touched. But that's a lie because they will distribute that money and it will be forwarded to your bank account. I can't remember if it was every week or every 2 weeks. Okay, it's a legal liability because if you leave, in this case, he had raised over $400,000. What he's going to leave inside of GoFundMe, their account for what, 2 years and 10 months? That's how long he was written. No. What about the tax liability? He didn't withdraw the money. So that's the story that he used to tell. But now he's refined it. Now he's saying the bank account, the money was in his bank account, meaning that it was withdrawn from the GoFundMe. Okay, but it's not that GoFundMe was issuing all of the money back. That's not how that worked. That works. People who donated, they had the option to try to get a refund, and people did that. One of the people who did that, in point of fact, was Kim Ringo, and here is her GoFundMe check. It's a refund check, and this is the stripper that Umar Johnson was dealing with back in the day. Again, Umar never provides receipts about what he says, but I always provide receipts about the truth dealing with Umar. Okay, let's continue.
Any notification, any conversation with the bank, they were just going to do it. And so I was able to get my bank to stop that in stream. And had my bank not been able to stop that process from taking place, it was only 1 year, but still we had raised a lot of money in that initial year. We could have lost it all due to GoFundMe. So
in all fairness, what Umar is saying that in the first year of collecting donations on GoFundMe that this took place. Okay, I want to be fair with him. When he's told the story in the past, though, he told people that he had only raised money on GoFundMe for a year, and we caught him in that lie. I think that was this year we caught him in that lie. I can't remember what video it was, but see, he watches these videos, so he changes the narrative. Okay, and that's precisely what he's doing here. All right. So he's saying now that instead of saying that we only raised money on GoFundMe for a year, which was a lie, we caught him in a lie. Now he's saying that this whole scenario about them issuing refunds took place during the first year of having this GoFundMe. And I'm not even sure if that's true. I'll find out, though, as I continue with the documentary that I'm working on dealing with Umar. All right, let's keep going. So he's talking about donations, and that's what really I'm about to prove to you guys. What's up, Mike? Mark became a member. Thank you so much. I'm going to prove to you guys that Umar Johnson has stolen a lot of this money. And I don't really like using that term, but it's the truth, right? It's the truth, meaning stolen. So here's his GoFundMe, by the way. If you see there, it was active for 2 years and 10 months, not 1 year. Earlier this year, he said he only had it up for 1 year, which was a lie. And if I had the video, I would pull it. I just can't remember what video it was. Anyone remember that hit the one? But he raised $403,555 over the course of 2 years and 10 months. Well, that covers the purchase price of these abandoned buildings right there. Okay, where did all the rest of this money go? Right? He's a liar and a con artist to the extreme. By the way, he changed the name quite a few times on this GoFundMe page because he called it Dr. Umar's FDMG RBG International Leadership Academy, and then also Dr. Umar's FDMG St. Paul's Fund. Okay, he changed it to some other things too. Anyway, let's keep going. By the way, does anyone remember where we covered that? Just so that if someone else happens to see, I like to provide receipts with everything that I say. Is anyone here in the Quick Question chat, if you remember when we had caught Umar in that lie earlier this year, I think it was earlier this year, where he stated that he only had that GoFundMe up for a year. And then I pulled this receipt up to show you that, no, he had this GoFundMe up from March 3rd of 2015 through December 27th, 2017. And that's 2 years and 10 months. If anyone remembers that, hit the one. Okay. Okay, let's get going. Here we go.
A lot of people were kind of saying this is never going to happen. He's stealing the money.
All right, I'm about to prove that Umar stole the money. See, and this guy, he's referencing me, and it's not just me. There's other people who have talked about this, but I'm going to provide you with receipt after receipt after receipt, and I'm going to prove to you guys that Umar Johnson has stolen a significant amount of money. Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, my lawyers presented St. Paul's Realty Company with the lease to own option. So far, we've raised about $230,000.
Okay, now the audio quality is really bad on this video. Most people haven't seen this video. This is from December 7th, 2014. All right, what's up, James? This is from December 7th of 2014. Yeah, there's only one person who remembers me doing that. Okay, yeah, I wish I remember what video that was because I can pull it up and show it to you guys. But this video right here, if you have seen this particular video, I want you to hit the 2. If you haven't seen this video, hit the 3. Right? Listen to what he says.
So far, we've raised about $230,000.
He says, so far, we've raised around $230,000. That video is from December 7th of 2014. Okay, follow me on this. By December 7th of 2014, Umar Johnson had raised $230,000, according to his own words. Yeah, a lot of threes in here. Most people have not seen this. Shout out to everyone in Quick Chat. Appreciate y'all. Now, to be clear, Umar Johnson started raising money, according to him, for the St. Paul's College in May of 2014. So from May to December, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, in 7 months, Umar, he claims that he raised $230,000. He was raising money prior to 2014 too, by the way. Okay, keep that in mind. We'll come back to that. Let's keep going. By the way, let's make this interactive. If y'all can put, how's it going, Ali Gal and Tori? If y'all, and what's up, Michael? If y'all can put inside the chat room 2014, $230,000. Okay, thanks, guys, little princess. Here we go.
A donation to GoFundMe.com. Please make that donation. Make that donation, brothers and sisters. Get us that school. $500,000 in a year. I'm thankful. I'm humbled. I'm proud that y'all gave me that. $500,000 in a year. I'm thankful. I'm humbled. I'm proud that y'all gave me that.
Okay, now he says $500,000 in a year. It's actually more than a year because he started raising money in, because I want to be fair, in May of 2014. But Umar is now saying that in 2015, December 28th, that's when this video was uploaded to YouTube. No, this is when that event took place, as a matter of fact. So I researched it further. December 28th of 2015, Umar stated that he was at $500,000. Okay, if y'all inside the chat room, if y'all can put 2015, $500,000, which means he's at a half a million. And this correlates to when he was on the Breakfast Club, because he told them that he was at a $500,000 too. But we're going to go with this one because it's at the end of the year, December 28th of 2015. Y'all can put 2015, 500,000. I'd appreciate it. Thank you guys. Okay, thank you. We'll make it interactive. All right. Okay, we're going step by step. I love y'all. Let's go.
And some of my contemporaries are jealous of the fact that y'all helped me raise $700,000 so far.
Okay, this event was May 16th of 2016, and Umar states that he raised $700,000. Okay, you see how this is going up? 2014, he's at 230,000. 2015, he's at 500,000. 2016, he's at 700,000. If you guys can post inside of the chat room for 2016, $700,000. Interesting enough, he stated this May 16th. So this would be of 2016. This will be 2 years after he started raising money for the St. Paul's College. He's at $700,000. Think about that. In 2 years, Umar raises $700,000. Okay, according to him, he started collecting money in 2014. Well, that would be 12 years ago. If in 2 years he raises $700,000, how much money y'all think he's raised over the last 12 years? Think about it. Is that right? Yeah. So 10 more years, a decade more of raising money. And that's not just it, because Black Dot stated, and there's other people who stated that they donated to Umar's school back in 2010. There's people who said 2009. They said 2000. I've seen people say 2008, 2007, 2006. He conceptualized this in 2004. Right? All right. So for 2016, we're at $700,000. Thanks everyone in the chat room for participating. Okay. Let's keep going. Here we go. We're at 230,000, 2014, 500,000, and 700,000.
Let me tell you what I plan on doing. When we cross the $1 million mark, probably around the end of the summer.
All right, Umar is saying this September 22nd of 2016. Because that's September 22nd would be around the end of the summer. Okay, and just to be more specific, because I want to be factual here, he gives this speech May 16th of 2016. Okay, May 16th of 2016, and he's saying that by the end of the summer of 2016, he's going to be at $1 million.
$1 million mark, probably around the end of the summer. When we cross the $1 million mark, probably around the end of the summer.
Okay, the end of the summer of 2016 would be around September 22nd. So Umar is stating that by September 22nd of 2016, the end of the summer, he'll be at $1 million. If everyone could put in the chat room, 2016, $1 million, or you can put like end of the summer, he's at $1 million, 2016. Okay, you see how these figures are going up, which makes sense. 2014, 230,000, 2015, 500,000, 2016, 700,000, 2016 again, but this will be for the end of the summer, right? September 22nd, he would be at $1 million. So Umar is projecting that from May of 2016 to September of 2016, he's going to raise approximately $300,000 more, if that makes sense. Okay, so 2016, September 22nd, the end of the summer, Umar is saying that he's going to be at $1 million. But that's not it. Watch this.
So you guys know I've been raising money for this initiative for about 2 years. We've raised over $700,000 in that amount of time. We'll probably be crossing a million by New Year's. By New Year's.
Okay, New Year's would be January 1st of 2017. So Umar is stating that we're going to get to $1 million around January 1st of 2017. You know, and this is consistent. I don't have this video in this series, in this sequence, but I will do it when because this is preliminary. This is like a rough draft version. There is a video from 2016 where Umar says that he's already raised $1 million. Okay, by the way, okay, many of you guys remember I played that video many times. So this is consistent that around 2016, towards the end of the summer, Umar's at around $1 million. Then he says that same year in 2016 that by January 1st he's going to be at $1 million. Okay, now you guys see how this is progressing here. If people can put that inside the chat room, 2017 January 1st, he's at $1 million. I appreciate it. We're almost done. But if you see how this is progressing, 2014, 230,000, 2015, 500,000, 2016, 700,000, 2016, $1 million by the end of the summer. And then 2007, $1 million by January 1st. How's it going, Amina? What's up, Sports Bet? Afro Punk Chick? Now, watch what happens now. Okay? And I have so much more that I don't have in this sequence that I'm going to have for the documentary. But watch what happens next. Watch this. Here we go.
So how much money was raised? What the people gave? All kinds of people gave. How much was raised, and what's the status of that?
$700,000.
How much was raised, and what's the status of that?
$700,000.
So now what we're doing with the money we've raised, which is approximately $700,000.
As of today.
As of today.
Okay.
So Umar is now saying in 2017, he's saying October 12th, 2017, that he's at $700,000. Hit the one. Hit the one. Critical question. How do we go from 700,000 May 16th of 2016 to 700,000 October 12th of 2017? Hit the one. This means, based upon what Umar is saying, that over the course of 1 year and around 5 months, he doesn't raise any more money. He gets no more donations. It stays at 700,000. But that's not the most damning aspect of this, if I can use the term. How does he go from September 22nd, the end of the summer in 2016, at $1 million to 700,000 October 12th of 2017? Again, September 22nd, 2016, he's at $1 million, but by October 12th of 2017, he's back down to 700,000. Furthermore, how does he go from January 1st of 2017, $1 million, to 700,000 by October 12th of 2017? Somehow, some way, over the course of 9 months, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 10 months. Over the course of 10 months, Umar loses $300,000. How is that possible? He didn't raise any more money, but instead somehow $300,000 disappear over the course of 10 months. But that's not all. I told you I had something special for you. Watch this.
Which is to say, I could put the school in Little Rock, Arkansas, or Phoenix, Arizona, or Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as much as I would put it in Detroit or Atlanta, because it's about what do we get for the money that we have?
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I'm looking at, facilities over locations. So it's not about loyalty to one city. It's about loyalty to the best possible opportunity we can give our children with the $700,000 that the people have given.
So now he's saying July 25th of 2018 that he's received 700,000. If y'all can put inside the chat room, 2018, 700,000. Again, critical questions. How does Umar go from 700,000 October 12th of 2017 to 700,000 July 25th of 2018? How does Umar go from 700,000 May 16th of 2016 to 700,000 July 25th of 2018? So from May 16th of 2016 to July 25th of 2018, it's roughly 2 years and 2 months. How is it possible that Umar Johnson's he states that he's raised 700,000 and then in 2016, and then 2 years and 2 months later, he's saying that he's still at 700,000. If y'all can put inside the chat from 2018, 700,000, but that's not it. In 2016, Umar says that by the end of the summer, September 22nd, he's going to be at $1 million. How does he go from $1 million September 22nd of 2016 to $700,000 July 25th of 2018? September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So roughly a year and 9 months pass, and Umar goes from $1 million to 700,000. But that's not it. Let's keep going.
I finally walk into the school, get to see it. I say, this is definitely the place we want to be because it's only 40 minutes from Philly. Delaware is our backyard. It's like Oshawa to Toronto, right?
Okay.
But they wanted $2 million, the same price as St. Paul's. I said, here we go with another $2 million. I stayed at them. 18 months later, I called them up. I say, listen, nobody's buying that school. People breaking into it. Give me the damn school. We got $400K.
Wow.
And he said, okay.
Wow.
I said, really? He said, bring us the money. I brought him the money. The school was ours on February the 7th of 2019. Nobody's buying that school. People breaking into it. Give me the damn school. We got $400K.
February 11th of 2019, Umar Johnson does the school announcement video. If memory serves me correctly, February 6th or 7th was the acquisition date. I can look it up, but that's really irrelevant at this point. How does Umar Johnson go from $230,000 December 7th of 2014 to $400,000 February 11th of 2019? How does Umar Johnson go from $500,000 December 28th of 2015 to $400,000 February 11th, 2019? How does Umar Johnson go from $700,000 May 16th of 2016 to just $400,000 February 11th of 2019? How does Umar Johnson go from $1 million September 22nd of 2016 to only $400,000 February 11th of 2019? How does Umar Johnson go from $1 million January 1st of 2017 to only $400,000 February 11th of 2019? How does Umar Johnson go from $700,000 October 12th of 2017 to only $400,000 February 11th of 2019? And of course, how does Umar Johnson go from $700,000 July 25th of 2018 to only $400,000 February 11th, 2019? I rest my case. The most egregious aspect of this is that Umar Johnson said by the end of the summer, he'd be at $1 million, which would be September 22nd of 2016. By the time we get to February 11, 2019, and Umar acquires these trap bandos, there's $600,000 that's missing. He stole the money. In Umar Johnson's school announcement video too, February of 2019, he stated, and he was emphatic about it, that he needs people to keep donating because he was out of money. We have video evidence of Umar talking about how the purchase price was around $750,000. If the purchase price was around $750,000, then why does he get on here and say that he only had $400,000 in 2019, February of 2019? See, the purchase price was $400,000. Umar Johnson said it was around $750,000 because he wants people to believe that he spent more money than he actually did because he stole most of the money by February of 2019. I rest my case. Hit the one. Yeah, that's what he says here because he finally told the truth. But I have a video. Matter of fact, Cultivate, I'll pull it up right now. Let me go pull it up. I'll show you. Give me one moment. Here it is. It's at the 9-minute and 25-second mark. Here we go.
Get back to Canada. Been a couple years since Toronto, and it's been a couple years since Montreal. Go right ahead, black man. What's your question?
Well, first of all,
I'm just honestly happy that you got your school. When I heard that you got it on one of your live Instagram feeds, I honestly couldn't believe it, and the price that you got it for. I'm just like, wow, this is actually happening.
You said the price that I got it for. What's the price I got it for, brother Ace?
I think you said 700,000, and it was it was supposed to be $1 million, something like that.
Yes, sir. We got it reduced. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct.
But
around that amount.
That is great stuff. Yeah, my question.
Okay, and I stand corrected. I thought he said 750. He said 700,000. So, and that's why I didn't come up initially. I put 750. 700,000. So Umar, he's saying around that amount. Okay, $400,000 is not around $700,000. There's a $300,000 difference. See, Umar, he wanted his audience to think, and he never gave the purchase price until that video I showed you guys here. Right, this one right here.
And that school to it. Give me the damn school. We got 400K.
See that? I don't think Umar meant to tell the truth, but he told the truth. And online records show 400,000. I broke the story back in February 2019, and I confirmed it since that time that it was 400,000 purchase price. In the first documentary, I showed that. Right, that was many years ago. So yeah, Umar, he says it was around 700,000, but that's the lack of transparency. He's a scam artist, because if he leads people to believe it's 700,000 when in point of fact it's 400,000, well, that's 300,000 that goes unaccounted for, because he can just say, hey, listen, I spent that on the school. No, most of the money, and that's what the receipts show. I provided it for you guys. Most of the money from 2014 through 2019 went to Umar. At least $600,000, because September 22nd, 2016, he's at $1 million. January 1st of 2017, he's at $1 million. And then the figure starts to go down, all the way down to 400,000 in 2019. That's not all. I got something else I want to show you guys. Okay. Before I show that to you, I just want to be clear about something. That Umar Johnson raised money prior to 2014, and he received land donations for FDMG prior to 2014. In fact, in 2012, he received donations in the form of land in San Bernardino, California. He also later received land in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, all prior to 2014. So when Umar says that he first got his first donation for FDMG and I think he said May. Yeah, I think he said May of 2014. That's another lie. Okay, all of this will be compiled, because this is preliminary. This is a rough draft. This will all be compiled inside of the documentary, step by step, just like we've done here. Right. So Black Dot also stated, now I covered that last week, that he donated to Umar back in 2010. Well, that's consistent with what other people have said too. So if Black Dot is correct, then 2010, 2011, 2012, Umar Johnson was raising money. That's 3 years prior to 2014. And then since 2019, Umar Johnson continued to collect money. So we got 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and now we're into 2026. Okay. How many years is that all together? Because that's not even, we're not even counting that in these figures here, which Umar states he gets to $1 million in 2016. Then he says January 1st of 2007. I got a video from 2016 where he's running around in front of this abandoned, it's not abandoned. No, it is. It is an abandoned building. It's unoccupied. And he's saying how he already raised $1 million. We need another $1 million. Now, I've played that many, many times. But this does not account for 2010, 11, 12, and 13. That's 4 years right there. That's 4 years of money that we're not even counting, right? And then we got 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's another 11 years unaccounted for. And we're not including, well, let's say 11 years and 11 and a half years. We're not even considering for this money that we see up here. That's why I'm saying that if Umar, if he's able to get from 2014 to 2016, $1 million, okay, because this is based upon Umar's own words. We're not counting 2010, because he says he didn't raise any money in 2010 or 2011, 2012, or 2013, which is a lie. But if Umar's able to raise $1 million over the course in less than a year, in less than 2 years, just under 2 years, how much money has Umar Johnson raised since 2010 over the last 16 years? Okay, I have something else to show you guys. Check this out. This is a chart, and I forgot what the chart name is. There's different types of charts. Anyone in the chat room, if you know what this chart is, because there's 3 different ones I'm going to show you. I can't remember which one this is. It's a bar chart. I think that's what it's called. I should know that, but it just skipped my mind. So if you guys look on the left, and I believe, if memory serves me correctly, that's the x-axis. Let me see. Boy. No, that's not. That's the y-axis. My bad. On the y-axis, you'll see money, figures. 200,000, 400,000, 600,000, 800,000, and $1 million. Okay, yeah, thank you, valedictorian. You should know. The left is the y-axis. You the valedictorian, okay. Okay, so you see that there, and then on the x-axis, you have dates: December 7th of 2014, December 28th of 2015, May 16th of 2016, September 22nd of 2016, January 1st of 2017, October 12th of 2017, July 25th of 2018, and then February 11th of 2019. And what's curious about this FDMG donations timeline is what you see, a natural progression, which makes sense. From December 7th of 2007, it goes up. Okay, from December 7th of 2014 on the blue, and then to get to December 28th of 2015, we get to the green, and then May 16th of 2016, we get into the red. This makes sense, right? And then September 22nd of 2016, we get to the purple. We're at $1 million now. Well, Umar, he's at $1 million. And then January 1st of 2017, he's at $1 million, right? But then look what happens after that. There's a massive drop off from $1 million down to $700,000, October 12th of 2017. And then the following year, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, 9 months later, it's still at 700,000. Think about that. And then February 11th of 2019, when Umar Johnson does the school announcement video, he says that he purchased these trap bandos. All he had left was 400,000. Umar had more money in 2015 than he did in 2019. I rest my case. We're disproving it. And no one can disprove this because it's based upon Umar Johnson's own words. And then online receipts, especially with the purchase price. I told people about that years ago in a documentary. If you guys need to see this presented another way, there's another graph here. Here we go. Now I can't remember what this one is called. I forgot. Let me know in the chat room. But you see how it goes up, 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 and then it peaks, and then it starts to come down, and then it levels off, and then it comes way down. Yeah, it's a line graph. Thank you, Katavet. So this is a line graph. The other one was a bar graph. Thank you. And then there's one more, if just so that people can see another representation of it. Here it is again. I can't remember what this one is called. I typed it in the actual file, the file name, but I can't see the file name on this because I've imported into Premiere Pro to put it into this presentation for you guys. But you see here, there's a steep incline from December 7th of 2014 up to September 22nd of 2016. And then, of course, January 1st of 2017. And then from there, it just drops. And then it levels off October 12th of 2017 through July 25th of 2018. And then it drops significantly all the way down to February 11th of 2019, when Umar Johnson only has $400,000 left. And with that being said, I just proven my case that, yeah, Umar, he stole a lot of money. Most of the money that he stole from most of the money that he's received from FDMG, it's disappeared. And we're not even counting all the money that Umar Johnson raised in 2010, 2011, 2013, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and then all the way through June 23rd of 2026, which is today. So when the brothers on the Danza project, when he says, yeah, people were saying that you were stealing the money, yeah, he was stealing the money. He's still stealing the money. I just proved it. The real question is, and that kind of gets to the poll question, is why is it that people who platform Umar, why is it that they don't know this? And then they defend him on this stuff, but they don't even know the facts. They haven't done the research. Is it a lot of research? Yes, it is. But I've done the research and I put the information out there. I've done it for years, so people don't have to do as much research. You can verify whatever you want to. That's why I'm big on timelines. I give dates and all that kind of stuff, because you can go look this up for yourself. But these people who platform Umar, the Breakfast Club, the Art of Dialogue, etc., they should do their due diligence before having this scammer on, let alone defending him. Okay. The poll question: are people who platform Umar Johnson complicit in the FDMG school scam? 87% said yes, 13% said no. Okay, so what we'll do for the rest of this live stream is we're going to get into some more of these segments from Umar Johnson's interview on SOS. And again, I want to thank everyone so much for tuning on in. Let me get caught up with the super chats, and then we'll get right back into it. I'm trying to have a short show. I got a real busy week. I've been busy. Mike's became a member. Thanks so much, Mike Martin. I appreciate it. CJ says, what's sad is that Umar will likely have to rip off someone who is not black and or poor for the authorities to end this. Yeah, I've talked about this. Other people talked about this too. That if Umar Johnson was targeting other demographics of people, if you will, other groups of people, that there would have been more significant consequences that have taken place by now. Now, Umar, he has faced some consequences. As an example, he was sent a cease and desist letter from the state of Pennsylvania because they told him he can't collect donations anymore in Philadelphia because he was scamming. Let me see if that comes up. Yeah, this is from March 4th of 2022. Okay, so this is a consequence right here. If you've seen this before, hit the 1. If you haven't seen this, hit the 2. Okay, because there are people who are unaware of this. This is from March 4th of 2022. Department of State, Proto Notary, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of State, Bureau of Corporations and Charitable Organizations. Because Umar, he had the FDMG Academy. Initially, it was part of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Okay, since that time, he says he's incorporated it in Wilmington, Delaware. Okay, he says that in February of 2019. But in the matter of Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Leadership Academy, cease and desist order. And now this 4th day of March 2022, the acting secretary of the Commonwealth, having found that Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Leadership Academy P.O. Box, and it gives a P.O. Box, is not registered with the Department of State's Bureau of Corporations and Charitable Organizations, and or has failed to submit all requested documentation to the Department of State, Bureau of Corporations, and the charitable organizations or the Bureau of Enforcement and Investigation in accordance with the Pennsylvania Solicitation of Funds for Charitable Purposes Act. And it gives these numbers here. Hereby orders Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Leadership Academy to immediately cease and desist from soliciting contributions on behalf of or as a charitable organization or conducting any services of a professional fundraising council or professional solicitor in Pennsylvania until such time as it provides the Department of State, Bureau of Corporations, and charitable organizations with all previously requested information and duly registers or provides information that it is excluded or exempt from registration as determined by the Department of State, Bureau of Corporations, and charitable organizations. Respondent may also be subject to formal administrative action, which could result in the imposition of administrative fines of up to $1,000 per violation of the Act, plus an additional penalty of $100 per day for each day the violation continues. This order shall take effect immediately. All right. So this is one of the consequences. He has faced some consequences, but and you're right though, CJ. If he had been specifically targeting other groups of people, that the consequences would have been more severe and they would have been more rapid. It would have taken place a long time ago. Okay. Thank you, CJ, for the super chat. And then TJ says he smoked it all up using that dope. Yeah, a lot of this money that has disappeared, it's gone. I mean, Umar has different addictions. We've talked extensively about this. A lot of this money has gone towards another thing is child support. It has gone towards Umar. He's gluttonous. He likes to eat. It has gone towards his travel expenses. It's gone towards clothes because he likes to buy clothes, dashikis, fitted caps, jeans, sports attire, this type of thing. It's gone towards substance abuse issues. It's gone towards gambling. Okay. I provided receipts on everything that I'm saying here. Okay. In fact, I can pull up a gambling one right now. Why not? There you go. These are expensive habits to have. There's other ones too. Did I miss anyone in the chat room? Let me know. Did I miss any of the other addictions? Because a lot of this money has gone towards these things.
Chilly in Vegas tonight. Might hit a few slots, winning some dollars to renovate the Frederick Douglass building at FDMG.
Again, Umar Johnson does not have a job. Okay, he worked consistently from 2000 to 2005, and then and that was in the public school system in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, and then from 2006 through 2010, it was intermittently in the charter school system in Philadelphia. And then by 2010, going into 2011, he gives up his career. I have all of this archived. He gives up his career as a school psychologist, and he starts to travel and speak more. And with the exception of, I think it was 2017, where Umar Johnson worked for about 3 months as a school principal, he hasn't worked. Okay, and that's why on his child support dockets, it'll show generic order all throughout, because Umar Johnson, well, not all throughout. Once he stops working consistently, you see generic order. That's because Umar Johnson, he's been unemployed, and he's still unemployed to this day. This video is from February 18th of 2022. He was unemployed in 2022 as well. So the money that Umar Johnson receives for FDMG, a lot of it has gone towards these types of addictions.
Fresh and Fit mentioned me in the show. What they had to say? Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. My skin glowing because I'm the Bruce Leroy of this shit. My skin glowing because I'm the...
Boy, he on a downer though. That's what he on right here. Look at him. But he get to gambling.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. We need $1 million for the Frederick Douglass High School. Come on. Got a credit of $16. Let's see what we got. Total bet. Let's go, family. Give it to me now. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to Big Papa. Give it to Big Papa. What we got? What we got? What we got? I don't even know what I'm doing because I don't know how to gamble. This is crazy. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
He says he doesn't know how to gamble, but the year prior he was gambling. Here.
Okay, I could do it now. I could do it now.
See, Umar comes from a family of gamblers. Okay, it's part of the family culture. His nephew verified that, but I already knew because Umar back in the day, he was talking about he was going to take his mama gambling to a casino in, I want to say it was New Jersey, if memory serves me correctly. Okay, that's such a long time ago. I may cover it in a documentary in the timeline, but a lot of money has gone towards gambling, food, clothes. He also has a sex addiction too. So money has gone towards that. There was a woman that was dealing with him, and after she sent me the receipt too. After she dealt with him, he sent her $500,000. Excuse me, I'm sorry. He sent her $500. I was thinking about that $400,000 that he had in that GoFundMe. And I was also thinking about when he was on the Breakfast Club many years ago. He said that he was at $500,000, $500,000. But he sent her $500, and it wasn't a business transaction, if you guys catch my drift. It was consensual, but for whatever reason, Umar decided to do that. So a lot of this money has gone towards these types of things. I can give you guys evidence of other things too, because he likes to gamble on NBA games, especially when it's the Philadelphia 76ers And he also likes to gamble on football games, especially when it's the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's why when we look at this chart, we see this massive drop off of money. And again, we're not even counting 2010 through 2013 or 2019 through today. Okay, June 23rd of 2026. I'm gonna tell you guys something else. One of the things that's fascinating about this, because I was thinking about it, I'll do the cross comparison inside the documentary. I just didn't do it here. But on Umar Johnson's tax filings for 2020, let me pull it up. His tax filings for 2020, Umar Johnson's he reports something remarkable. Okay, hold on one second. All right, here it is. So we're looking, and I have his tax liens too, but I'm not going to pull that up. We're going to go to 2020. Yeah, actually, I'm not going to be able to do it this way because I would have to actually look and find out which, I think it was page 10, if memory serves me correctly. Let me take a look here. Page 10? No. Page 9. No, it was what it was. I think it was part 10 on the filing. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm looking here. Okay, yeah, this is it right here. Okay, let me pull this up. So if we look at this bar chart here, December 7th of 2014, well, another way of looking at it, let's look at it this way because it'll be easier. Okay, so here we are right here. So 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then he acquires these trap bundles February of 2019. And he states that he only had $400,000 left. That's in 2019. Now, to be clear, for these years when Umar Johnson is collecting money, in 2014, he does not have tax exempt status. In 2015, he gets tax exempt status, but it was a 501c4. Okay. And then 2016, he has tax exempt status. And in 2017, at least part of it, he had tax exempt status, but he wasn't reporting to the IRS any of this money that he had collected, which would mean that he didn't report to the IRS that he had collected $1 million. Think about that. Isn't that interesting? He didn't even report to the IRS the money that he was receiving. So they revoked his nonprofit status. And that was in 2017. In fact, May 15th of 2017. Here's the receipt right here. Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey, RBG Leadership Academy, FDMG Academy. This is the first EIN number. He has another one set up now that he set up in 2019. No, he set up in 2020, but it wasn't retroactive for 2019 or for 2020. It goes into effect in 2021. No, is that right? No. 2020. No, it's not retroactive for 2019 and part of 2020. Anyway, you can see he had a 501c4, which people can't write off on their taxes, but he was telling people that they could. He's a scammer. And the revocation date was May 15th of 2017. We got about 861 people in the building. If y'all hit that like button, if you're enjoying the show, please do so. Our goal is 400 likes during this live stream. So I just want to be clear that Umar Johnson, he didn't report any of this money to the IRS. And that's troubling in and of itself. Okay, so at this point, we're talking $1 million or around $1 million at that time. He doesn't even report to the IRS. So they revoke his nonprofit status. He doesn't have nonprofit status for 2017, 2018, or 2019. So all of this money that Umar Johnson raised, he doesn't report any of this to the IRS, not until 2020. Think about that. And Black Don said he had donated back in 2010. Well, that means that Umar Johnson raised money for at least a decade before he even put in proper paperwork with the IRS as a nonprofit. Think about that. He's a con man. He's a scammer. If we look at this is his filings with the government, if you will. And if you look down, you can barely see. I can barely see it. Yeah, I could probably, give me a second. What page is this? Yeah, give me 1 second. This is for 2020. Because what I'll do is I'll pull it up as a PDF And that way I can zoom in so you guys can see it better. Okay, this is the 2020. Okay, and which page was this? I can't remember what page it was. Anyone remember what page I stated? I think, no, that's not it. 2020. Yeah, I can't see it clearly here. 2020. Oh, here it is. Is this it? No, that's not it. I apologize. I think this is it. Page 11. Let me see. Yeah, this is what we need right here. Okay, so page 11. So let me, and it's so blurry though. Yeah. We'll go with it though. You guys you'll have to bear with me. Okay, I wasn't planning on pulling this up. But let me see if this works here. It's not allowing me here. No, it's not letting me do it. Okay, well, I'll just read. You guys just have to trust me on this because I like to be able to show you exactly, because it's so small on the screen. At least on my screen, it's really, really small. But I'll tell you what it says. If you go down to line 16 on this document, it says total assets. Okay, and then it lists $518,000. Okay, that's assets there. And then if you go down, total liabilities is 54,000 and some change. But there is another thing, and it's not. I don't think it's on this page. No, it's not on this page. Oh no, it is. If you go at the top, at the very, no, you guys aren't going to see it because this is on part 10. Okay, let me pull up page 11. Yeah, I wish they gave the option to where you can actually zoom in, but they don't allow that on StreamYard. Okay, so we're going to look at taxes for 2020 and page 11. Okay, 2020, page, here it is, page 11. Okay, if you look at that top line under part 10 of the balance sheet, it says cash in a non-interest bearing account, and it lists $518,000, I think it's $48 at the beginning of the year. That would be at the beginning of 2020. I want you, the significance of this is really important because Umar says that he only had $400,000 left over when he purchased the trap bundles in 2019. See this? So if he doesn't have any more money left over when he purchased these trap bundles in February of 2019, all he had was $400,000, and he spends that to acquire these trap bundles, where does this $518,000 in cash come from? And I'm gonna tell you guys, this is the amount of money that Umar Johnson raised in 2019. See, because that's at the beginning of the year of 2020. That means that Umar Johnson had raised at least that amount in donations in 2019, which makes sense because that's the year that he comes up with these trap bundles that he paid $400,000 on. And that's all the money he had left, even though he had $1 million way back in 2016. And people got excited. And people were very excited. And they start sending him more and more and more money. And that's what that means, that cash. Because Umar said that he didn't have any money left over when he acquired these trap bundles in February of 2019. Okay, something to think about. All right. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Let me get to the rest of these super chats, and then we'll get back to the main video, and we'll start working our way through. Thanks, TJ. You ain't raised $1 million? Yeah. Okay, Umar, he was saying that he hadn't raised $1 million. That was in 2024. Yeah, that was in 2024. I thought it was 2025, but it was 2024. But clearly, if you guys look at what Umar was stating back in the day, he was at $1 million. He would have been at $1 million back in 2016. Okay, he's a scammer. Okay, and again, the school is just a carrot that he dangles in front of people to get money out of them. But the actual scam is the money itself, and that's why you can see on this this chart here that the money consistently goes up from 2014 through 2016 when he hits $1 million. And then it stays the same January of 2017. And then by October 12th of 2017, it just dips dramatically by $300,000. And then it stays the same at 700,000 October 12th of 2017. It stays the same July 25th of 2018, 700,000. And then by February 11th of 2019, it's all the way down to 400,000. So this would mean that from between January 1st of 2017 and February 11th of 2019, roughly a year, right? So a year and a month, Umar Johnson tricks off $600,000. Where'd the money go? Okay. All right. Thanks, Gazo Princess. YouTube5 says he went from 1 million to 700,000 because he paid me for. All right. I'm trying to have a serious show. CJ says tonight's game, take a drink every time YouTube5 says something out of pocket. Yeah, I know. That's what he does. By the way, the draft is on to the NBA draft. I told people that I would update people. So it looks like why is it that show the, oh, okay, I see. Okay, they're already down to 11 pick. I won't update people. Y'all can check it out yourself. I'm so behind. AJ Diabolical was selected at number 1 by Washington. Darren Peterson was selected by the Utah Jazz at number 2. Cameron Boozer was selected by the Grizzlies at number 3. Caleb Wilson was selected number 4 by the Bulls. Keaton Wagler was selected number 5 by the Los Angeles Clippers. Okay, I'm trying to see where the Lakers at. Oh, they're way down at 25. All right. Anyway, thanks, CJ. Miss Honey says, Lenon, how do you feel about people stealing your content and making it seem like it's their own? I don't really think about that, and I don't worry about it either. My thing is that the more people become aware of Umar and what he's doing, and specifically the scamming with the FDMG school scam, the better. My ego doesn't work like that. I do have an ego. My ego is more like if I'm wrong about something, then I take an ego hit because I've done so much research. I'll correct myself though too. You know, I've made mistakes, but I always correct myself. I'll issue public statements and retractions and all that kind of stuff. That's the only thing that really bothers me is when my research isn't where it should be. I'll give you an example. I've given this many times. I used to think that this started in 2014 with the St. Paul school scam. Nope. Then I come across the receipt from 2010 where he states that the school is going to open September 11, 2013. Okay, so I in my mind, in my research, I was like, okay, he starts this in January of 2010. Nope. I have a video based upon my research because I remember when I ran across it, I was like, wait a minute. And he states that he conceptualized FDMG in 2005. And then he says it was before that. So that would mean at least 2004. That's when he starts. And that correlates to his scam that he was running with the UNIA, with the building fund scam to try to get money so that he can renovate. It's all familiar, right? Anyway, that's when my ego takes a hit because I want to be actual and factual. But in terms of people using my research or using my content, I don't really, it really doesn't faze me. The more people who learn about what Umar Johnson is doing, the better. And there's people who've done some fantastic work. There's people who've done excellent work. So shout out to them. And it would be nice for people, to acknowledge, for instance, what I'm showing here today. If there's someone use it to acknowledge and give me some, so people can come over and check me out, that would be nice. But if it doesn't happen, that's okay too. Okay, my ego isn't wrapped up into it like that. Thanks, Miss Honey, for the soup chat. I appreciate it. Okay, user 225 says I wear skirts. How I'm so out of pocket. What are you talking about? All right. I don't even know what you're talking about. Thanks, user 225. Jonathan says, Umar, whenever he's asked how much the school cost about my thing is yeah. See, Umar's never that was the only time, based upon my research, that was the only time where I've seen Umar admit the truth that it was $400,000. He's given other ideas. Like he'll say, when Lord Jamar, I'll just say Jamar, when Jamar had Umar on, and I could play it for you. He says, so you raised $400,000, and Umar says it was more than that. See, Jamar saw my documentary. That's why he brings up my name. Umar, he went crazy when he brought up my name. You guys remember that? That was crazy. Umar, he was going ballistic. So he's never given the actual factual figure. When the young brother was like, yeah, it was 700,000, because Umar was like, well, how much did I pay for it? Why are you asking him? Because Umar wants to know if people know how much he paid for it. That's why Umar did that. He's crafty. And the guy says around 700,000, and Umar says, yeah, well, yeah, we got it reduced. He doesn't say that it was 400. He said it was around that amount, meaning it was around 700,000. No, it wasn't. He's a con man. It was $400,000, and that's a statement of fact. So Umar has never stated the actual purchase price except for the video that I showed based upon my research. That's the only time, but I don't think he meant to do that. I think he was running his mouth like he does, and he gets to running his mouth, and for some reason, this guy finally tells the truth. All right. Thanks, Jonathan. Lewis said, what's up, man? Says he's doing the Fred Sanford math metric 7 carry the 1. 7 carry the 1 plus 3, divide that by pi. You put that over there. You put, what is that? Is that an X? I don't know. Yeah. Umar, when it comes to this money situation, this is where the scam is at. And what I showed too with this graph, this ain't all of it either. Right here, this isn't all of it. Okay, and then what I show right here, this isn't all of it either. Hold on one second. Yeah, I remember this is gonna be right here. That guy contacted me. He was mad that I used a segment from of that interview in the first documentary. He contacted my wife too. I was like, man, you tripping. Where'd it go? Oh, this right here. Yeah, so yeah, it's hard to catch it. Let me do it up here. So this right here, this isn't everything, because I have more, because I've researched, and he's given different numbers for how much donations he's raised that I will have to, when I actually have this in a documentary, I'm going to have to fill in. I'll just have to fill it all in. And it may even be more disparities when we talk about the actual chart, and we can see how numbers are fluctuating where they should be going up, but then they go down, then they go back up again. See? So there's still quite a bit that I can add to this. I just put this together just so you guys can get an idea. Okay, so that's the chart right there. If anyone wants to screenshot that and report on it, they're more than welcome to do so. Okay, this is FDMG donations timeline. It's not complete though. There's more that I'll be adding. Okay, another thing I'll do is on that I forgot what axis that is. On the y-axis, I'm going to put $1 million. It'll be a dollar sign, and then there'll also be colons, right? And then on the bottom, I think I could also probably make this highlight this, not highlight it, but make this bold so that it stands out more. Anyway, yeah, there's plenty of more work to do. Okay, thanks, Louis. I hope you're doing all right too. Goddess Noel says, I'm not a real estate expert, but I feel that like Umar got played even paying $400,000. I guess his team signed off on the deal. Yeah, he did. This was the worst investment that he could have made because there's millions of dollars that need to go into renovating these buildings, millions of dollars. And see, Umar's never had professionals come out there to do a complete inspection and an audit, a general contractor and their team to come through to look at everything that needs to be renovated. As an example, the HVAC units, Umar claims that it's cost him $50,000, but he never provided any. Was it 50,000? I can't remember if it was 50. Yeah, it was 50,000 because he said the blueprints was 20. So 50,000 for one HVAC unit. But what my research shows is that there's at least 3 more of those on the other side of the street. So that's another 150,000. And then there's I think 3 or 4 smaller ancillary units. So I mean, we're talking $300,000, maybe $350,000 worth of. That's not even renovation work. That's just replacing those units, let alone installation. You guys want me to provide you with a receipt on that? Let me see if it populates here. Yeah, here it is. This is from 2020. So if we look, and thanks, Goddess Noel. if we look, you see the HVAC units, there's 3 on that side of the street. They're the same size as the one on the other side of the street, which Umar claims he paid $500,000. So let's do the math. That's $150,000 right there just to replace them. We're not talking about installation or anything like that, just to replace them, to buy the actual units. That's $150,000. The other one across the street is another 50, so that's $200,000. Umar stated that that everything was intact. I have a video where he says that the HVAC units are intact. You want me to pull up that receipt? Let me see if I can find that one. And actually, I think that's the video that we're supposed to be covering. Let me see here. Yeah, it's not that one. I think it's this one, and I could be wrong. No, that's not it. Yeah, there's another one though. I think this is it. No, this isn't it. I've played it in the past, but okay, so that's the one over here on the what Umar calls the small school. These are abandoned buildings, and that HVAC unit, that's the one that Umar Johnson had replaced. I can pull it up and show you where he actually had it delivered, and they just set it on the roof. It was never connected or anything like that, and it's still not functional to this day. But Umar stated that the HVAC units, that they were all intact. I have the video. I would have to find it. But clearly they're not. He lied to the lady that had stated that. And I think this is that video right here. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, that's one. So that's 4. So that would be $200,000 right there. And let me see if yeah, those things are gutted completely. I just want to see if I actually show. Oh, no, it doesn't. But I have there it is. Yeah, you see how it's gutted? And then these are the other ancillary ones. They're smaller ones. There's 3 of these are gutted too. There's 3. One of them is thoroughly stripped down. But these 3, no, actually there's 2. These are 2. They're smaller ones. So those need to be replaced. All this stuff over here needs to be replaced though, in point of fact. There's another smaller one right there too, in the left corner, towards the left corner. So, I mean, we can estimate, if going by what Umar says, 50,000 each, that's 200,000 right there. And then these, I don't know, maybe another 50,000. So maybe $250,000 to $300,000 just to replace these. So yeah, this was a horrible investment. But again, Umar only had 400,000 left. So he had to get whatever he could. And this is what he could get. With the money that he had left, because most of it he had spent on himself. There was at least $600,000 missing February of 2019. And these buildings, this is what he settled on. The thing, if you notice, the mold situation isn't as bad back then, but now it's way off the chart. That just goes to show you that, here, look, I got to find that video where Umar says that the HVAC units are intact. These bad boys are gutted. There's nothing inside. It's just a shell. Okay. Yeah, it was a horrible investment, and they got him. He's been sitting on them now for 7 years and 4 months. That's a long time. We're getting close to a decade now. 7 years and 4 months, and the buildings have deteriorated. He's done some things like it's more cosmetic. He's painted. He's put ceiling tiles back in he ain't done nothing else on the other side of the street too, by the way. Okay, he's only focused on the smaller building mainly, and then that small gym. So those 2 buildings right there. But he hasn't done anything on the other side of the street, which is the larger building, and there's more damage, according to him, over there on that side of the street. So he's done a lot of cosmetic things, painting, tiles put back in, buffing floors, that kind of stuff. But no, that's not it. There's no way that these buildings are going to pass inspection. And Umar knows that. That's why he creates a story about how this immigrant from Jamaica is sabotaging him. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Goddess Noah. Yeah, 400,000, and then millions of dollars in renovation work that needs to go into it. And then Umar Johnson has wasted, as an example, just one example, taxes on the buildings for 2019 and 2020. I can pull it up and show it to you guys. The taxes on the buildings, and see if he had his nonprofit status, in 2019 and to start 2020, that money would not. It was 167,000, something to that effect, 167 or $64,000 wasted money that donors had to pay out. Okay, and then here we are all these years later, still no school, not one black child has been educated. Yeah. Thanks, guys, Noel. YouTube 5, so thank you. All right, here we go. All right, here you go. Black Mars says the numbers don't lie. Umar does. He must have been hitting that stuff hard in July. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what anyone could say to this, including Umar. How does he defend this? Anyone have any idea? How does, because the numbers don't lie. How does, and this isn't all of it either. I'm telling you guys, I have so much research into this, and I took notes, copious notes, and I specifically focus on, especially when it comes to the FDMG, because there's stuff prior to him talking about FDMG that I have in the documentary, because I cover his whole life. But specifically when he starts making announcements about how much money he's raised, I really took the time to take notes on that. So this isn't all of it. This isn't all of it at all. My document, let me see here. The timeline document, just goes through 2018 at this point. No, this only goes to 2013. This document, is this the right document? Yeah, it is. It is, let me see. See, because I can look right now and I can see other dates where he's given updates on how much money he's raised. There's a whole bunch of them. Yeah, it's not telling me how many pages this is for some reason. No, I think it's just still loading. My computer's a beast too. It's just I got a lot open right now. let me close out some of this stuff. Goodness gracious, don't want my computer to crash on me. Anyway, there's more that I'm going to add to this when I have more time. And in the document, I'll outline it clearly, very clear. Yeah, this document is 262 pages and it's 51,608 words. So I took time to care for any grand opening dates that Umar Johnson has given, which is there's over 31 of those. I've archived that and I've taken notes on that. I've produced videos to talk about it as well. That's all based on my research. I've done extensive research. And then the financial figures too. Here's that video that I was talking about earlier when Umar was, he said he was at $1 million. That was from December. That can't be right. Wait a minute. Let me just look up something real quick. Hold on one second. And then we'll get going here. I just ran across something. I thought that was 2016. Is that 2018? No, it can't be 2000. Yeah, 2016. Yeah, and that's consistent with what he's saying. See, so let me give you guys an example real quick. Let me do this. So yeah, give me 1 second. This is from 2016. Okay. 2016. And no, that can't be right. That can't be right. Yeah, let me pull this up. So this is the image part of it. So Umar says December 22nd of 2016, Dr. Papa really likes this Baltimore school. It's in good condition, stage, gym, kitchen, daycare area, office space, large parking lot, plenty of classrooms, but they want 1.9 million. We will be able to do about 1 million shortly. So again, this correlates to what he was saying about the summer of 2016, but also he stated by the beginning, January 1st of 2017. But this is a video. So let me pull this video up for you guys, don't mind. Here we go. He was real hype in this video too. Yeah, let me skip through.
It's a nice school. We was just on the inside. They got a gym, lunchrooms, class space, office space, big parking lot, all the land around it. It's a pretty nice spot. So Baltimore, what's up, Baltimore? We need another $1 million. Baltimore, can we get another $1 million? Not just
Later, he says we almost got 1 million, but he said we need another $1 million. If you're saying you need another one, that means you already got one. The point is, if that's consistent with my research, look, I got him. See? All right. Again, thank you for the super chat, Black Mario. Oh, by the way, I want to show you guys this. So remember, I was showing you guys the roof, and then you can see the HVAC units are gutted. So there's that one that's gutted. You can see how that's gutted. There's nothing in there, but these ones are on the other side of the street. These ones are gutted too. Okay, he hasn't done anything on this side of the street except turn it into his own personal storage. Okay, so those are all gutted. Yeah, there's something that's supposed to go there too. I don't know what it is, but that's missing as well. Okay, so let me see if I think this is the video that I was referring to earlier. It might be. Yeah, I'm not sure, but let's give it a try. I may have to skip through. Let's see.
Fourth and fifth. As you're doing third, fourth, and fifth.
Third, fourth, and fifth, I'm gonna start, and then we're gonna grow. Ultimately, we're gonna be pre-K to 12, and then I want to do a junior college. So the first year, 3rd through 5th, second year, 4th through 6th. Excuse me, second year, 2nd through 6th. Third year, 1st through 7th, K to 8, and then you flesh out your high school. That's gonna be the goal. So as you can see, this building is much smaller, but still enough space.
So next year for your trip.
I got that one flashing. You can take that one. You know what? Take that one. Give me that big one.
So because you open next year, you moving your trip up, the dates up?
What you mean moving them up? Moving them back? Moving them back? Yeah. Why you holding your nose? Because of what?
The smell.
What it smell like?
It smells like a building's been shut up. That's all.
Yeah. So yeah, we were going to get to this one at a. I want to do this week, but I don't think I'm gonna have time. I may not even have time to live stream tomorrow. I'm gonna try to. I just have a busy week, but I'll compile this all together. But I thought this was the video where it may not be. Let me just skip through here. Yeah, I don't think this is the video. Yeah, there's a video where they're inside. It's early on in 2019, I believe. Yeah, I think it's early in 2019. It's definitely in 2019. And there's a massive hole in the roof. And Umar says, and he said that the HVACs are intact. Okay, he was lying about that. I'm gonna try to find it while we get further into this live stream, because I want to provide that for you guys, because I want to provide receipts. Okay, thanks again, Black Mario. User 225 says with Umar Johnson, it's like throwing a hot dog down the hallway. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Lord John Mo says, Lenon, you are a grown man with a wife and 5 kids. Why are you infatuated with another grown man? Well, I wouldn't say that it's an infatuation. I look at it as a public service. And yes, I am a grown man with a wife and 5 kids, and I take good care of my family. Okay. So one could be a dedicated father and a dedicated husband, and also expose someone who's not a dedicated husband and a dedicated father, and who's also scammed Black people out of millions of dollars. Okay, you can do both, okay? But you have to have discipline. You also have to have research skills. You have to have proper intellectual process. You also have to have a lot of patience, and you have to have integrity. Okay, all those things Umar Johnson does not have. The real question is, do you have those things? Okay, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Lil Suck says he might be paying to be on some of those shows. I know payola is supposed to be illegal, but most of them seem to take money. Yeah, there may be some shows that he has done that in the past, but with where Umar Johnson is at with this FDMG school scam, he's not in a position to be dishing out money. I'm talking about at this point. So when he goes on the SOS show, I'm sure they're giving Umar some money. I'm sure of it. When he goes on Art of Dialogue, I'm sure Art's putting some money in Umar's pocket. So what tends to happen is that Umar goes on these platforms and they give him money, and then he goes and smokes the money up. He smokes up the money, and then he'll come back online and he'll look smoked out. Okay, this is something that is more recent in this whole Umar Johnson saga. See, I think back in the day when Umar had money that he can throw around, because there was a time when that money was coming in really, really nice. Yeah, there was a time where he could, payola type of situation. I could see that. Okay? I don't have any proof that he has done that, but I could see that as a possibility with Umar. But at this point, he's not in a position to do that because the money has run dry. He doesn't have a job. Last year, he almost lost these buildings because he wasn't paying basic bills. And it's not like they're extensive bills, like, $200 a month or $400 a month. It's just, and they just accumulated over since 2019. We're talking about 6 years, almost 6 years of him not paying basic bills. And at a certain point, city says, hey, listen, we're going to take these buildings from you. So that goes to show that Umar, not just that Umar's irresponsible when it comes to money, which is a problem because he's collected millions of dollars, but also that he's not business minded to handle basic business. And then finally, it shows that he doesn't have money, at least not the type of money that he should have, because he's tricked off so much of it. And if he didn't trick off so much money, he would have money to pay these bills. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think this is more of a possibility back in the day. These days, I don't think so. I think these days, Umar, because the money has run dry with FDMG, he needs these platforms to have him on so that he can get some money coming in, because the donations aren't coming in like they used to. Okay. Thanks, Louis Duck. I appreciate it. Enterprise says Danza other pod glazers are brain dead or involved. I think there are some who are involved. That's why the poll question is: are people who platform Umar Johnson complicit in the FDMG school scam? 86% said yes, 14% said no. I think that there are some who are, because see, it's not that Umar. It's not like when Umar scams black people for FDMG that they benefit financially. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just by having him on, knowing that he's a scammer, that by having him on, they make money. So they're complicit and they promote him. They're complicit. Now, if they had him on and they asked hardball questions and they had the research in order and they provide legitimate criticism, that's a different scenario. But that's not what we see. We see individuals, they just glaze. They have Umar on. They talk about him like he's really accomplished things, like he's this great black leader and all this kind of stuff. No, they're complicit. In my opinion, they're complicit. Okay. Yeah, and then some of them they brain dead too. That's just being honest. I try not to be talking about people like that, but yeah, you have to. If you believe Umar in 2026 and you've been following Umar longer than 3 years, and you still believe in him, you brain dead. I shouldn't say brain dead. That's a hard term. You are intellectually challenged. Okay, I'll say that. Thanks, Enterprise. Louis Zuck says, so he's going to fund the school with a $16.25 budget and 75-cent belts. So that's a whole other topic that Umar Johnson has not addressed. How is he going to fund the operation part of this? He couldn't even fund the renovations. Renovations aren't done, but how is he going to fund? Because that's the real money that's going to need to be spent is when we talk about the operations. It's millions of dollars a year. He's going to have millions, especially with the stuff he says he's going to be doing. Teaching the boys how to float ships and fly helicopters and airplanes, and he's going to build an observatory on the roof, and there's going to be a state-of-the-art music studio. That's $1 million right there. What you talking about? If it's going to be state-of-the-art. You're going to be taking trips to Africa. Who's paying for all that? And how much money is it going to cost a year in order to do all these things? It's millions of dollars. So Umar purchased these trap bundles for $400,000, which is all he had left in February 2019. And somehow we're led to believe that he's going to have enough money to do even 1 year of operating. There's no way. Real talk, Louis. Look, even if Umar was legit from the jump, he had no intention to open up a school. Let's be clear about that. But let's say hypothetically here, we're getting into the Lulu land, Umar Johnson fantasy land. Let's say that Umar Johnson was legit, that he sincerely wanted to open up a school, that he wasn't scamming, that he wasn't tricking off money, that he didn't have all these addictions and tricking off money on these addictions, and he wasn't traveling all over the world when he was supposed to be opening up a school. He wasn't, a bus. I shouldn't say it that way, but he wasn't out here running through all these women, preoccupied with other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And let's say that everything was on the up and up, and he had complete transparency, including financial transparency. It's still not financially viable. You can't run a school on donations. And even if Umar is in his own mind, he believed that somehow he was going to get enough parents to pay $500 a month to send their child to his school. It makes no sense for him to purchase a school in Wilmington, Delaware, that is crime infested, drug infested. That's hood up over there. The parents, and it's impoverished. The parents ain't going to be able to afford $500 a month for one kid, let alone 2 or 3. So the point is that even if Umar was on the up and up, I'm talking about financially or fiscally, it's just not viable. And it never was. And it never will be. But in Umar's mind, it doesn't matter because it's free money. People send him money. All he got to do is parade around, act like he getting things, little shit done here, little shit done there. And here we are. Not one black child's been educated. Okay. Thanks, Louis Luck. I have the Moyer budget too. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 1.7 or 2 million or something like that. You adjust for inflation, and that's just basic. You adjust for inflation. By now we're talking 3 million, maybe 3.5. But let's say 3 million, but if you throw in all the stuff that Umar said he's going to do, which is a laundry list of craziness, all the different things that, and not just with the kids, but he said he's going to do for the women, the yoga classes, and the parents going to be able to come to the FDMG gym. He's going to have an FDMG farm and a horse stable and mascots inside each room. And a black vegan sports bar, non-alcoholic. You throw all of this head movie shit that he come up with, and we're talking millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars each year in operation expenses. All right. By the way, Umar still doesn't have a budget. He doesn't have a budget or a business plan. So whatever y'all want to think, go on ahead. We got about 960 people in the building. Our goal is 400 likes. We are at 311. Okay, so we got a chance to get to 400. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that like button. Okay. All right. Let's see here. The poll question: are people who platform Umar Johnson complicit in the FDMG school scam? 85% said yes. 15% said no. Okay, let's keep going. I want to get through these super chats and we'll get back to the main video. CJ says Umar is the most uncouth and uncultured advanced degree holder I've ever seen. Yeah, I agree. Can't argue. I totally agree with that. Someone who claims to have 6 degrees, he has 5, but let's go with his deluded land. Someone who has 6 degrees is the greatest school psychologist of all time. He said this. And someone who is a child psychotherapist and a family counselor and or family child, what he said, family psycho, I don't know what he said, a child and family psychologist or something like that. Because Cheyenne Bryant, she says the same thing. She ain't none of that. Someone who is the most requested scholar, even though he's not a scholar. He's written 2 books with no source material. He's not peer reviewed. He doesn't have any anyone that vouches for him that come from a professional scholarly place, if that makes sense. Anyway, and yet, real talk, he's batshit crazy. I've never seen that before. Not with someone who's supposed to have all of these, advanced degrees. He acts like a pookie. Now, it could be argued, has he always been like that? I don't think, no. Umar hasn't always been to the extreme that we've seen. Umar, as an example, the SETI rant. No, you know what? I think he is like that. At the SETI rant, I think he's always been like that. That's just one of his altered characters, if you will. I think that he's emotionally unstable. I think he's always been emotionally stable. But in terms of the shenanigans and the behavior and the buffoonery, I think that it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And you wouldn't expect that from someone who claims to, be a school psychologist and a school principal, and he has 6 degrees and he's the most requested scholar. You wouldn't expect that, but that's what we see with Umar. Okay? So yeah, you're right. I agree with that. User 225, and thanks for super chat, Louis Stuggs, CJ, everyone else. User 225 says Umar Johnson gambles, but 225 be hitting that jackpot every. Umar. Yeah. All right. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Afropunk says, hey, Lenon, I'd like to apologize for the misunderstanding and explain what I meant to say. I believe Umar Johnson also said his kids would expose him in that video also. Okay. Yeah, I haven't found the original video. I just have to locate it because what I have, and I know I have it, but I have what I've played consistently is a segment of it because what I did was I redacted information where Umar's doxing his baby mama and his baby mama's mama, the grandmama, and then also doxing their place of business. But I got to find the original one, and I have it. I just got to find it and go through it to find out where he says that. Yeah. I believe you. I know that the video though where he says it that I knew about was the one I played yesterday. But if he says it in that video, I'm going to run across it anyways when I go to get into that year. I can't remember what year that was. I think that was 2000. I want to say 2017, the end of 2017, because that's when he had the court case. Because it was alleged that he was pretending to present himself as a licensed psychologist, when in point of fact he didn't have a license and he's never had a license. Okay? Anyway, no, but it's all good. It's all good. Thank you, Afro Chick, for the super chat. Thank you for being here as well. U225 says 2020 225. Thanks for the. All right, here we go. God's little princess of Lenon. I think Umar raised about 5 or 6 million. The bastard stole so much money from black people. Okay, damn. Okay, 5 to 6 million. Is it possible? Yes. Especially if you look at the timeline and how much money Umar Johnson was saying that he had, he was at back in the day. Is it possible? Absolutely. So even if we look at this right here, 2014, he's at 230,000. 2015, he's at 500,000. 2016, 700,000. And so by 2016, he's at $1 million. So over what? From May of 2014, June, July, August, September, that's 4 months, May 2014. So 15, 16, so in what, 2 years and 3 years and 4 months, right? Let me get this straight. I think it's 3 years and 4 months. So December 7th, 2014 to September 22nd, 2016. All right. How many days? Why isn't it showing it to me? Hold on one second. Okay. It's 655 days. 1 year. Is that right? No, that can't be right. No, because that's December. Yeah. But no, he starts in May. So let's go with May. That's where I screwed up. That's why I didn't calculate right. May of 2014. I think he said, okay, so May. I'm just going to put May in. So it's 875 days. Okay, so 875 days. In 875 days, Umar raised $1 million. Okay, so let's do this. 875, 2 years. That's 2 years, 2.3 years. In 2.3 years, 3.9. So let's say 2.4 years, Umar Johnson raised $1 million. Okay, so how much money would we expect him to make, to have raised from 2014 through 2026 through 12 years? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we can get up to that. But the thing, guys, Princess, my best estimate, and I'm going from 2014, even though there's people who stated that they sent donations in 2010. I'm giving grace. My best estimate is that Umar, he has to be around $3 million. Is it possible that he's at 4? Yes. Is it possible that he's at 5? Yeah. 6, I think 6 is a little stretching it. I think it's stretching it significantly. Is it possible? Yeah, there's no transparency. So who knows? But if we just look at these figures right here, if Umar is able to raise $1 million in, let's just say 2.5 years, where how much money would he raise over the last 12 years? And we're not even counting 2010, 11, 12, or 13. So yeah, it could be up there. It can be up there. But I try to give him grace. I would say $3 million. That's my best estimate based upon my research. And that, in my opinion, that's a conservative figure. It can be much, much more than that. Okay. Thanks, Gazo Princess. And thanks for modding and handling the mod biz. I appreciate you. Afropunk says, I think I remember because Umar Johnson actually looked decent. Oh, you talking about back in the day. I'm telling you guys, that's one thing with Umar that it's like it's a cautionary tale. It's not just how Umar has deteriorated in terms of as a person. It's also how he's deteriorated even physically. If we go back to 2005, I can pull up the video. That's the earliest video that I've been able to find of Umar based on my research. There may be other ones out there, and if anyone has it, and if you send it to me, I'll send you 100. I'll send you 100 before 2005. I'll send you $150, Cash App or PayPal. Okay. If you look at him back then, and you look at him now, he's fallen off. You look at him in the early 2010s when he would dress in suits and ties, 3-piece suits. He would have his hair cut nice, and he would suit and tie. He would present himself like a professional. You look at him today, yeah, it's a stark contrast. But that's part of it. Is if you live like this for this amount of time, it's like being, you being a Sith. And if you're a Sith, it's going to wear on you, and you're going to start deteriorating at a rapid pace. And it's not just physically; it's also mentally. Okay. Thank you, Afro Chick, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, the Data Vault says, I like that name. The Data Vault X says, will August of 2027 be the end of Breakfast Club, or will it last longer? Well, Umar Johnson, he's given the grand opening date of August 2027. No, I don't think so. I actually thought that by February of next year that we were going to see like a significant, I don't know what to call this. Like the term that comes to mind, because I was at Walmart, is a significant rollback. Meaning, because Umar, he's backed himself into a corner. It's a significant corner when he says that renovations are completed. He's saying that the school is ready to open. We need to decorate now, blah, blah, blah. He's backed himself into the corner because now he has to show and prove. He can't ask for donations for renovations anymore because he said the renovations were complete. He said it in 2023 and 2024. He said that the school was open. 2026, this year, he stated twice that the school was done. Right. So he's backed himself into a corner. He cannot ask for donations for renovations anymore. That's why he's asking for donations for decorations now, which is ridiculous. But the thing is that I figured that if he makes those types of comments and he's so adamant about it, and so many of his followers believed it, I figured that, listen, by February of next year, he's not going to be able to continue with this foolishness like he has in the past. He's already backed himself into a significant corner. But when Umar Johnson showed these trap banners the second time where he's walking through and saying that the school was done, the response that I saw from Umar Johnson followers lead me to believe that he may be able to carry this on for indefinitely. Because they was really believing in that foolishness. He's done this so many times before. I don't see why they don't realize that he's just, anyway. So we'll have to wait and see. I thought by February of next year, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong with other stuff, so I may be wrong on that too. Okay. Thank you, Data about data. You know how data, you don't like to be called data on Star Trek Next Generation. Thank you for the super chat. Jay Civic, how's it going? Says, can't we just go to the county for the sale price? Well, the thing is that when Umar purchased these trap bandos, the way that and I have the actual document because I shared that document back in February of 2019. The way that he had it set up was wherein the purchase price is not made public. But nowadays with the internet, you can find a lot of information that people may think is private, but it's actually in the public domain. And that's what I did back in February 2019. But I've also verified that information since that time. So you can find it. You just have to know where to look, and you got to be patient, and you got to be really patient. Okay, but you also have to be consistent and persistent. That's one of the big lessons I've learned. You got to be persistent if you're trying to get and locate information on the internet that is not readily available, and especially with someone like Umar, because there's no transparency. Where you really have to get and start digging. And when I was studying for my degree, one of the things that we were taught was how to find information, and there's nothing illegal about it either. Okay, it's nothing. It's not like this is the age of let's be honest, it's the age of AI now. But The internet, it's a resource that if you know how to navigate it, you can get a lot of information about people, including people who think that they're anonymous. There's a lot of information that you can pull. Okay? You gotta know how to look, and then you got to be patient, and then you got to be persistent. So you can find the purchase price in different places. You just have to start the process and just stay at it. Okay. But in terms of it being made public, just out there, it's you got to look for it. You really got to look for it. Thanks, Jay Civic. And again, Umar, he should have all of this available to his followers. He should have FDMG website. He's never had an official FDMG website. Okay, the closest thing I've been talking about, I talked about this years ago. We was clowning it back in the day. That the closest thing that Umar Johnson had to an FDMG website was called umarjohnsonschool.com, and it was trash. But all that information, including the purchase price, should be on there. How much money he's raised, and he should have kept it going and up until current. He still ain't got no website. Okay. Thanks, Jay Civic. No official FDMG website. That's crazy. Okay. Professionally done with all of the relevant information. Okay, thanks, Jay Civic. Boston man, what's up, man? Says gifted a membership. Thanks so much. You should be gifted a membership if you broke. Anyway, shout out to Boston man. Boston man been around a long time too. Thank you for that. TJ says we appreciate you, Lenon. Salute. Oh, thank you so much, TJ. I appreciate you too. I appreciate all y'all. Okay, you guys are awesome. Let's see. Miss Honey says, don't come in the Cookie Crush trolling. That dude infatuated with you. Listen, I ain't tripping. I'm not at all. Listen, I've been at this a long time. I've been at it a long time. I've been through so much I'll say reporting on Umar. I can give you guys stories, not just online, but in the real world, the kind of foolishness that I've had to go through. So this kind of thing, I'm not moved by it. Real talk, I think it's beneath me. And I'm not saying that from an arrogant perspective. I'm saying that anyone who wishes to troll, there is no way that you can fuck with me intellectually when it comes to dissecting, criticizing, researching, and reporting on Umar. So you can say what you want to, but you still can't fuck with me, so it really don't matter. Now, if there's someone out there who think that they could, one of these Umar followers, all right. See, because the way I look at it, I'm talking logic and reason. That if you've done the amount of research that I've done and other people, including people inside the Cookie Crush that have done, then you would have realized by now that Umar Johnson is a charlatan. So you wouldn't have a need to go and troll people who are exposing him. Make sense? Okay. Yeah. So I ain't tripping. All right. Thanks, Miss Honey, for the super chat. Missy says he was just in Dothan, Alabama. He's shooting bad to be this person. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't do that. Why you say this far south? Don't do that. Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now, that Umar, he's scraping at the bottom of the barrel, and there's reasons for that. That's crazy. Missy, don't do that. There's reason for that. He's burnt so many bridges over the years. Okay. There was a time Umar would sell out venues and it'd be jam-packed with people, standing room only. I kid you not. But he done fallen off so bad. He done scammed so many black organizations. His reputation precedes him. He done ran through so many black women that thought that they were special. Y'all ain't special. You just, you just a random that he'll run through and he'll move on to the next. But what happens is that the reputation gets around, and at a certain point, you start to see it, and you can see it with Umar. You look at his timeline; that the speaking engagements aren't what they used to be, and the quality of the venues and the organizations that used to support Umar and platform Umar starts to deteriorate over time. So at this point, he'll take whatever he can. He'll give a speech in someone's backyard. I kid you not. Yeah, but don't do that. Don't say he's that this far south. Okay, thanks, Missy. How's it going, Candy? Candy says, I appreciate how eloquently you read that guy. I believe that a black man should be holding black men accountable. It's a community service. Thanks, Lenon. Yeah, I look at it as community service. I also think that it's important because it sets a standard. Umar should not have been allowed to do this for this amount of time. And there's plenty of other people who've criticized Umar over the years, men and women for that matter. But I think that men in particular, it's important because we're supposed to be the primary protectors, right, of women and children. Okay? And it's not a racial thing either. I don't want people to get that twisted. We're supposed to be the primary protectors. So if we have someone who is, and I'll say it, who's savage like Umar, who is out here preying upon and exploiting Black women, using Black children as an exploitative tool, exploiting money out of Black women, and then also exploiting them for his own sexual gratification, men should speak out about that. I think it's really that simple. And if someone has a need to defend someone like that, that's more of an indictment about their character than it is about Umar, or than it is about me speaking about Umar. See, there's a lot of lessons that we can learn. This Umar Johnson saga, Umar's the main character, but there's a lot that we can learn, about ourselves, that we can learn about other people. And in particular for men, what we can learn about what we need to do in order to be better. And so that we don't become a cautionary tale like Umar. Umar was given everything that he needed to be successful in life. He's been given millions of dollars. And what does he have to show for it? 3 baby mamas, living off his mama at the age of 51. Look at the lessons we can learn here. Substance abuse issues, gluttonous. Look at the lessons we can learn. Obese. We should take care of ourselves. And the older we get, the more we should. Okay. And it's not a race issue. I'm just talking about men. We should. Someone who's never been married can't speak about being in any long-standing relationship. And all of my research with Umar, I've never heard him talk about being in a long-standing relationship. He's a deadbeat. He don't take care of his kids. How does someone defend? How does another man defend someone like that without learning a lesson that they shouldn't be like that and that they shouldn't defend men like that? See, one last thing I think that Umar, part of the problem with, there's a lot of problems. One of the problems with Umar is that he sets such a low standard for Black manhood, masculinity, and fatherhood, and husbandhood for that matter. And that there are males, and I'll just say it, there are Black males and Black men who they defend Umar because they see in themselves what Umar is to different degrees. And so in defending Umar, they're defending themselves. But what they're doing is they're allowing themselves to maintain a low standard for who they are as men. And in my opinion, that's some bitch shit. If that makes sense. Just talking how we used to talk. That's some bitch shit. The idea is do better. And you don't do better by defending someone like Umar. You do better by learning lessons from Umar and from other people, other men, on what you can do to benefit yourself so that you can do better in life and you can be of service, whether that is to your wife, to your girlfriend, your fiance, to your kids, to your community, whatever the case may be. None of those things Umar is doing except running his mouth, exploiting these Black women for financial and sexual gain. And there is no reason for any man, Black or other, to be defending someone like Umar, unless Umar is the quality and character that reminds you of yourself. Okay. All right. Thank you, Candy. And then Abdul says, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Listen, I agree. Okay. That's why Michael Jordan was who Michael Jordan was. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. P. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. P5. P times 5. Okay. Thank you, Abdul. I haven't heard that, but that's true. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. I'm gonna try to memorize it. Okay. Thank you so much. A lady says he probably got $1 million in free cookies. What in the world? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that, lady. I have no idea. There's one video where Umar says that there's tens of thousands of people that donated to him. I think that was the February 2019 video, the school announcement video. So Umar's traveled all around the world collecting money and crushing cookies. So ain't no telling. Okay, I'll leave right there. Thanks, lady. Young Money says OSINT. I don't even know what that means. Listen, I'm old, man. You're gonna have to help me out on this one. Anyone know what that means? Let me know. I'm like my open source intelligence. Oh, okay. yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Okay, I got you. Open source intelligence is a collection and analysis of public available data to produce actionable intelligence. It spans numerous domains from corporate threat analysis to journalism to cybersecurity and law enforcement. Okay, I got you. yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, my degree is in cybersecurity. Okay, thank you, Young Money. And then user 225, it says, I taught Umar Johnson to plead in Cantonese for... All right. Goodness gracious. Some of the stuff you be saying. Okay, thanks, you 225. Thanks, Young Money. Thanks, a lady. Excuse me. I'm almost at the bottom. We'll get to the main video. Munya says the school is a state-of-the-art building in an excellent condition for Umar. It just needs HVAC, plumbing, tiles, and renovations, and a whole host of other things. Yeah, Umar said that it was in excellent condition. He said it was state-of-the-art. He said on the Lord Jamar show, he also made reference to these types of statements or these types of claims in the February 2019 school announcement video. But none of this is true. And in fact, let me do this. So, I'm gonna have to export it. That's what I got to do. I thought I exported it already. I'll because I'm gonna come back to this, okay? Because the whole HVAC situation, it's important because Umar, I'm gonna provide you guys with a receipt on how he lied about the condition of these HVAC units. So you guys give me a second. What I'll do is and I only have a couple more super chats. After I get done, I'll start the video. We'll get back to the main video, and then while we're playing it, I'll edit and export this particular video. It shouldn't take that long. I know I've already done this before, but I just can't find it right now. And then there's a full version. That's the one I really need. This is okay. Okay, so let me drop this in here right quick, and then I'll do these super chats, and then we'll get back to the main video. Yeah, I'm gonna have to live stream tomorrow. I wasn't planning on it because I just really, but we got to get through this whole video this week. But on Thursday for sure, I won't be live streaming. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just set this up, and then I'll come back and edit it and then export it. So we'll come back to this. So thank you, Munya, Day Trader Elite. Again, Umar, he lies. What he tends to do is that he'll overstate the challenges. In many cases, he comes up with challenges himself, right? That's how he's been able to extend this for indefinitely. But then he also overstates certain accomplishments to give the illusion that this was a great purchase, that he's progressing, things are going well, but it's all a bunch of lies. So this is an example. The HVAC in particular, plumbing too, right? And then the tiles that are on the floor, he could have done that within the first 6 months of acquiring these trap battles. Ceiling tiles, he could have done that within the first week. That's no big deal. HVAC unit, I mean, it's no point. He says he purchased it for $50,000, but why would you purchase it for $50,000? I think that was in 2020, maybe 2021, and they're still not connected. There's no use. It's just been sitting up there. Why would you do that? Why would you take now I think about it, why would you take $50,000 for an HVAC unit? Allegedly. Why would you purchase one and then put it up on the roof and just let it sit there for years? Yeah, here's the video right here, but I don't have the date on that one. Yeah, that was it had to have been because he had it set up before that first block party, I think. So I think that was in 2021. 2020, I think. I'm not sure. Here's that video with Brother Jose and the HVAC. Anyway, let me get out of there. Okay, thanks, Money. But I'm going to come back to this HVAC thing in just a moment. YouTube by Umar Johnson goes. All right. Okay. All right. To the dude questioning Lenon, question Umar. All right. No, there's no reason. It's perfectly fine. The way I look at it is if you're willing to pay $5 to try to troll, you got to go find something else to do, bro. Just being real about it. I mean, and it could be one of these Umar Johnson side pieces, all of them side pieces, but pretending to be, man, ain't no telling. Okay, but if that's what you got to do to defend Umar, I'll tell you. Anyway, thanks, Enterprise. You always call it Umar Umoys. Anyway, B Moore says there's a lot of sites out there that are hip to Umar's lies, and he is a laughing stock. He spits out a bunch of mumbo jumbo words, but doesn't spit out facts. Yeah, most of what he says, a lot of what he says, especially when he's trying to speak as if he's quoting like statistics, he just makes it up in his own mind and on the spot. He does that quite often. Yeah, there's a lot of people that know, and they've woken up about Umar. There are people who woke up about Umar before I even started reporting on him. Right? There's a brother in Philly. He's one of the forerunners. He's been around a long time. He's given me a lot of information over the years. He prefers not to be identified, but Umar, he's been mad at this guy for I don't know, it's decades. No, real talk, it's decades. So he knew about Umar way back in the day, going back to like 2004, 2005, and before that, in point of fact, right? So yeah, there's a lot of people even before I started to research Umar that had there were forerunners, and this brother is one of them. There was another lady too. I can't remember her name right now. She was Dr. something, and I can't remember her name right now. But those two were like the forerunners from way back in the day. But this brother, though, he goes way back, decades ago. But the most important thing is that more and more people are waking up. And the more people who report on Umar, the better. At some point, it'll reach critical mass. And if Umar ever gets caught up, let's say, for instance, with the IRS, because of this scam, he's using his nonprofit for his own personal gain. And he hasn't provided anything to the community out there. And this has been going on for such a long time that if it ever got to that point where he's facing charges, that's when it will be picked up by the larger society, and then it would be reported on by like news networks. And if he actually serves prison time, that's when it would really blow up, right? Anyway, thanks, Be More, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Umar, yeah, he sure is. I totally agree with that. Okay, I totally agree with that. Thank you, Les Vibes, for the super chat. Salute to Information Man's here. It says respect to you too. Thank you so much for tuning in. This brother did a video on Umar it's more than a couple of days ago now. And I posted it on my timeline. Not my timeline. I posted it on my community tab. If you guys have some time, check it out. I only got to watch a bit of it, like the first quarter of it. I just haven't had time. I've been really busy. But from what I saw, it'll be worth you guys' time to check it out. Okay, he always does fantastic work. He's been around a long time too. So shout out to Information Man. Salute. Okay. All right, and then User25 says Umar keeps it Umoys for the yellow alien, a.k.a. Okay, on that note, let's get back to the main video. Thank you, User25. Thanks for all the super chats, everybody. You guys, damn. Okay, I'm not you guys, but User25, you be doing too much sometimes. Okay, so this is the plan. We're doing good on time. We got about 958 people up in here inside of the chat room right now. Shout out to the Cookie Crush chat. The poll question is, are people who platform Umar Johnson complicit in the FDMG school scam? 85% said yes, 15% said no. We got 851 votes. Our goal, let's try to see if we can get to 1,000. So we can do it. Okay, if you haven't voted on that, go on and vote on it. And then if you're enjoying the show, our goal is 400 likes. We're at 376. So if we need 24 more, yes, to the 378. If you're enjoying the show, you have enjoyed the show, or you may enjoy the show at some point during this live stream, make sure you hit that like button, okay? Okay, by the way, Giannis was traded to the Miami Heat too, by the way. So big news in the NBA. Okay, so this is the plan. We're going to get back to the main video. While I'm playing this main video, I'm going to edit down this. Really, I just need there's a couple things I need to do. I'm going to export this, and then we're going to look back at this HVAC situation. I'm going to show you guys. We're going to catch Umar in another lie, because all he do is lie. Shout out to Good Court Chat, and thanks to the mods too for handling biz. I appreciate it. All right, here we go. So if you're tuning in later, this is from earlier during this live stream. This is very important in my opinion. I've been sitting on this for a very long time. These are financial figures for donations that Umar Johnson has given over the years. 2014 is at 230,000. 2015 is 500,000. 2016, 700,000. 2016, $1 million. 2017, $1 million. And then look what happens. It starts to go down. 2017 is 700,000. 2018, 700,000. And then in 2019, Umar Johnson admits that all he had left was $400,000. And it's not just the video I played, it's also what he states in other videos, in particular the February 2019 video where he says he didn't have any money left. So $400,000 was all he had left by February of 2019. And we're not counting any money that Umar Johnson raised in 2010, 2011, 2012, or 2013. And then we're not counting any money that Umar Johnson raised in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and then through June 23rd of 2026. Okay. And to be clear, when I say 2019, I'm talking about after February 11th of 2019. Okay. So let me go ahead and let this play. I also put together these charts for people to get a graphical representation of this. And you can see it here. And just go through real quick. You see in the middle, gets to the mean, and it starts coming down. Here's another one, a line chart or line graph here. And then here's another one. I can't remember what this type of one is called, but you can see how there's
a lot of people.
All right, here we go.
Were kind of saying this is never going to happen. He's stealing the money. You know, they were making all sorts of jokes about it on the internet. Now, when I spoke to you, I heard conviction. I heard real stories of things that were in your way that you would only know if you're involved in business.
Okay, let's be clear about something. Just because someone speaks with conviction does not mean that they're telling the truth. In point of fact, con artists, that's what they do. They speak with conviction to persuade people to attain their confidence. They'll speak with conviction. They'll lie to your face, but they'll do it with conviction. And that conviction is what manipulates people into believing that what they're saying is true and that they believe it themselves, meaning Umar. Okay. So just because Umar speaks with conviction doesn't mean anything. Furthermore, Umar, the stories that Umar Johnson told you, did he provide any documented proof of any of those? And the answer is fucking no. So why would you believe a liar? Just because he speaks with conviction and he told you some shit that he didn't provide any receipt to. All right, let's keep going. See, when I say stuff about Umar, I'll provide receipts. The financials, I provided all the receipts today. I've talked about it for years, but I provided the receipts. Okay, when I talked about Umar lying about the HVAC situation, I'm about to provide the receipt. Anyway, let's go.
Or you've been in some way, shape, or form, you've been a part of something like that where it's tough to get something going because of the people that could be in your way.
Yes, sir.
Now, with this information that you're giving to us on this interview right now, and also to the viewers who are watching you, with the school being this close to open, is this some of the information that you're going to be providing in there? Or what exactly do you feel is going to be what people walk out of that school learning?
Great question. To clarify, with the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Leadership Academy, leadership will be the foundational purpose of that school. We want to train young American African men in the ability to walk into any community, not just in America, but in the world, because we are a Pan Africanist institution, and therefore we do not divide our people up in groups for the purpose of keeping them from aligning with one another. We believe in one Africa, one race, and one people. And so we want to make sure that our young men have the ability to go anywhere from Alabama to Angola, from Paris to Portsmouth, Virginia, to organize their people. And so our foundational sciences that we plan to teach, in addition to what's required, obviously your math, your language, your science, and your social studies are your four.
Yeah, Easby. Umar, what about Dafa? Yeah, Joyce is saying Donza knows he's a charlatan, and that may very well be true. But if that is the case, why would he platform him outside of getting views? I get that. But again, we're talking about integrity, right? And there may be people who watch the Danza report, and they don't know much about Umar, and they may donate to Umar because Umar, he's on the show. Anyway,
core academic subjects. But on top of that, we're going to have agricultural and agronomical science. We're going to have dietary and nutritional science. We're going to have financial and economic science.
Financial science, economic science. Come on, Umar, cut it out.
Political and military science, science of the Black family.
Now, there is a political science, but there is no science of the Black family. Cut it out. And this is someone who's a deadbeat. You got at least 3 baby mamas in Philadelphia alone. Don't take care of none of these kids. Never been married. Anyway.
Spiritual and astrological science. Our students.
Spiritual science. All right.
Do not have to practice African spirituality, but they must understand what it is, because African spirituality has gotten such a bad reputation in this country, intentionally so, as a result of the success of the Haitian Revolution that used the original African.
Here he goes.
Voodoo from the west coast of Benin as part of the liberation struggle there. And so America has always had a fear that indigenous spiritual.
These guys are like, what are you talking about? Look at them. They're like, we asked you about what you're going to be teaching. You up here talking about, I don't know what you talking about. Look at Paco in the corner down there. He's like, ¿qué? ¿Cómo? No es bueno. Okay.
Systems of African people could provide us with a certain type of a support that could carry us through in any revolution. And even many of our revolutionary generals in America during slave time,
what are you talking about?
And Denmark, Vesey, and Gabriel Prosser, they almost always had a, what you say, traditional African spiritualist amongst the Revolutionary Army to guide activity on the spiritual plane. But getting back to your question, what Dr. Umar believes politically is not necessarily the curriculum of the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. For example, Black Queens Forever, Snow Bunnies Never, that's become a global quote of mine. Wherever I go in the world, people shout it, right? That is not something we will teach at the school. Why?
Okay, by the way, I explained this yesterday. I'll just be real brief here. That whole saying, what that is, it's minstrelsy. So if you guys remember, what was the show? Good Times, and they had JJ, and JJ would say dynamite. Okay, and then it got to the point where there were even people on the show who felt like it was like he's shucking and jiving, and that's really what it was. And so it becomes an embarrassment. And then that's what he's known for. Well, the same thing applies to this whole snow bunny thing, that phrase that Umar Johnson used. He doesn't realize it, but most people, including especially the children, they see him as a joke, and that's part of the joke because it's minstrelsy. Okay, he won't be remembered for anything significant. He'll be remembered for a phrase that is silly in the first place, but most people see it as a joke in the second. Okay, he's turned himself into a minstrel show. All right, let's keep going.
Because not all parents of the students who attend FDMG necessarily have a problem with interracial marriage or interracial dating. So a lot of my political positions that are considered controversial by many, extreme by some, I just consider it the truth myself, but those will not be parts of the FDMG curriculum. You have to keep in mind, in the state of Delaware, and this is true probably for almost every state in the country, you cannot discriminate on the basis of race, even if you are an independent school, right? So we would even have to consider students who are not African for enrollment inside of our school. Otherwise, it would be against the law and we could be sued and shut down.
Okay, isn't it fascinating? Umar saying that here in 2026, but I've been saying that since 2019. So finally, he's admitting what I've been telling people for a very long time. Okay, but why the sudden shift though here? And we talked about this yesterday. Well, the reason why is because he's on the show with Latinos, so he wants to make it seem as if he's all inclusive in front of these brothers. When in point of fact, he's talked a lot of shit about Latinos. It's amazing that they even had this goofy on in the first place. Maybe they don't know. You give him a pass though? Anyway, let's keep going.
And so because of that, we want to be careful with what we teach anyway, because let's just be honest, there's going to be Black parents who are probably more offended by me teaching some of the things that I believe in than say a white parent or Latino parent or Arab or East Indian parent. So the curriculum is not.
See that? He says Latino. You see how he does that? I told y'all. But notice how he says white parents too now. Uh-oh. Hit the one. Anyone catch that? Hit the one. Let's go back. Look at this guy. He in his mama closet again. Inside. Well, how's it going, Sonia? He's in his mama closet. Look at him. Look at this guy.
Who are probably more offended by me teaching some of the things that I believe in, students who are not African for enrollment inside of our school. Otherwise, it would be against the law and we could be sued and shut down. And so because of that, we want to be careful with what we teach anyway, because let's just be honest, there's going to be Black parents who will probably be more offended by me teaching some of the things that I believe in.
See, he says that to take a shot at Black parents, like Black parents ain't shit. You see that? He has a long history of that. Thanks, Sportsbet, for being here too. Yeah, that's what he say. That's what he say. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I see all them ones in there. Thank you so much. What's up, Dr. Sabi? Said Umar is a Latino. He changed his name to Johnson and cosplays as an actor. There's some truth in that, though, with my grandpapa Cicero. All right, that was funny. Here we go.
And say white parent or Latino parent or Arab or East Indian parent. So
a white parent now too, huh? Latino and an East Indian. He talks so much shit about East Indians and white people and Latinos, but all of a sudden, because he's on a show with the Latinos, now he got a shuck and jive for you all. You know. All right. Says he got to do what he got to do. All right, here we go.
The curriculum is not a blueprint of Dr. Umar's core political beliefs.
What's up, Jimmy Jabberee?
Selfish, even though I do stand on everything that I profess. It is about teaching our boys to be leaders in their community. Responsible men is the goal.
Vámonos aquí. All right. I was in a Cuban salsa band one time. Okay? It was called the Papa Cicero Shy Lights. I'm just playing. All right.
Let's say a white man came and gave Dr. Umar $1 million donation.
Okay.
To rehabilitate the Frederick Douglass High School. Here's $1 million. Get that high school up. I love your message. I want your people to win.
You know what's crazy about this? If we do the math and if we calculate how much money Umar Johnson raised since 2019, based upon his filings with the IRS, Umar, after acquiring these trap bundles for $400,000, he should have had $1 million. He would have raised another $1 million outside of that. So why is it that no buildings are fully renovated now here in 2026? If you understand what I'm saying, hit the one. Let me say it again. If we look at all the money that Umar Johnson raised in 2019, it was about $500,000. If we look at, and that's not what he reports to the IRS, though, in his 2025, it's a whole other thing because it's complex because he backlogs how much money he raised in 2019. But he would have had to have raised, if he was out of money and he only had $400,000, that's what he said in 2019, then any money that's carried over into 2020 would have been money that he raised in 2019 after February of 2019, if that makes sense to people. But if we do the math and we calculate how much money Umar Johnson states that he received in donations and the cash that he had in the non-interest bearing account from 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024, it's going to be over $1 million. See, and we don't know about the 2025 yet. Okay, we can throw that in there. It's going to be over $1 million, 2025. So this is after Umar acquires these trap bundles for $400,000. And there's still $600,000 missing when he acquires them. So if you put all this together, it's going to be about $2 million right there. Okay, but we're going to go with 2019. By now, Umar would have raised $1 million based upon what he reports to the IRS. And if that's the case, if he's sitting on $1 million if by now he's raised $1 million, why is it that he hasn't renovated to completion any one building? He stated, I have him saying that one side of the street was going to cost $250,000 to fully renovate and restore. I have him saying $350,000 to fully renovate and restore. Also have him saying that it's going to cost $1 million for the entire campus. Scampus. Well, by now he's raised over $1 million since he acquired these trap bundles in Wilmington, Delaware. Why is it that both sides of the streets haven't been renovated yet? All right, let's keep going.
I might not want him to win as much as my people, but I still want him to win on some level. Here's $1 million. I cannot take the money because if I open up the Frederick Douglass High School on a white dollar, it was not a black victory. It is another example of white philanthropy bailing black people out of a situation we should have solved ourselves.
Okay, real quick though, the hypocrisy, you're going to use the nonprofit status though. That's the white man. That's the IRS. That's the government. Right? Furthermore, Umar, how do you know that you haven't received any donations from white people or Asians? How do you know that? You don't know that. You got to see what I'm saying? You don't know that.
To rebuild the self-esteem, the self-worth, and the self-concept of African people, history and our ancestors dictate that Black people must solve our problems by ourselves.
Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Being that, and I'm trying to think of this the right way, but being that Carmelo Anthony, that situation is so prevalent right now. Do you feel that if he was in an all-Black school, that the situation would have been different? Because from a data perspective, all Black schools usually have more violence. And if that's the case, is your school, let's say he was a part of your school, could he have evaded that violence in today's time with everyone's current mentality?
What kind
and
of
what are you
question
going
is
to do
that?
to
The
keep
fuck
that
you
violence
talking about?
outside of your school?
Remember, great question. Black people go to schools that are still ran by white folks. All public schools and charter schools, even if they claim to be African-centered, white folks run them. The state runs them.
Yeah, see, Umar never wants to hold anybody accountable. See, that's part of the issue with manhood with him. See, a man holds other people accountable, including the boys that be fucking up. That's how you check them. We call it G check them, and not violence. That's what I'm talking about. But you keep them in line by checking them. But if you all trying to act like, well, it's everybody else's fault and blah blah blah. Okay, well that's part of the problem right there. There's a difference between raising a boy into a man and making excuses for him. But Umar doesn't know that because he's a deadbeat. He don't take care of his kids. He ain't raised no kids. The question is ridiculous in the first place. But let's keep going.
Superintendent runs them. You might have Black teachers. You might even have a Black principal. But the system, the structure, the curriculum, the culture, it's all maintained by Caucasians. So when you say Black school, you're simply saying white school with predominantly Black children. Okay? I want to be very clear about that. White school with predominantly Black children. It's not ours. We don't run it. But the question you asked about how do I make sure that does not happen at FDMG, real simple. The first thing you have to do with Black children, African children in the United States, because we have been taught so much self-hate through slavery, through oppression, through public school, through media. And some of that media is our own. The first thing you got to do with Black children is teach them how to work together and how to love each other. So there would be no need for violence because that's my brother. He's not just my schoolmate. He's not just my classmate. He's not a stranger that I go to school with. That is my brother. And so at FDMG, we are building a brotherhood that will last and
No. See how he's speaking as if the school is open and they're doing these things? There is no school. And Umar, you're not doing anything with no kids. You call for the murder of Black boys. So what are you talking about? You're not even dealing with Black boys. I would like for you Umar Johnson followers to find me, because Umar says he done saved millions of Black boys. I want you to find me 50 videos of Umar Johnson dealing specifically with Black boys. Not they mamas. I'll wait. Because he's always talking about the Black boy, right? Okay, well, give me 50 videos. I can get you 50 videos of him talking about crushing women's cookies. Go find me 50 videos of him dealing specifically with Black boys. You're not going to find them because they don't exist. Umar don't deal with Black boys like that. He deal with their mama because the mama's got the money and they got the cooch. Anyway, Umar talking like he's really doing this like right now. At FDMG, no, you're not. There's no children enrolled. What are you talking about?
Entire lifetime that will far exceed the length of my own life. So our culture is completely different. This is a family. And if you have trouble fitting into the family, you cannot be a part of it, and we will simply dismiss you from the school.
So
You have to teach Black children to work together, because the reason why we're catching as hell, I just said, what? If we had our own school, if we had our own gas station, why don't we have it? Black people are not socialized to work together.
Yeah, Umar,
I do want to say.
See, again, he speaks so poorly about Black people, and Black people, we do work together. Umar, who does Umar Johnson work with? I'm not talking about the randoms and the pick-me's that he be running through. That's not what I'm talking about. Who does Umar Johnson work with? I'll wait. Let's keep going.
Say this before the next question, just as a point.
Go ahead.
Just as a point to my supporters who will be watching this interview, the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, the raising in the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy fundraiser.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I just did that. Hold on one second. Here we go.
I know we have 4 buildings, so we're talking about the Marcus.
No, there's 3 buildings.
Garvey Elementary School.
He's always lying.
Not the Frederick Douglass High School, which is much larger. But the Marcus Garvey Elementary School has been completely ready, since Frederick Douglass's birthday, February 14th. So you might ask the question, well, today is June the 15th. We have March, April, May, June. We are 1/3 of the year since you claimed your school was ready for operation. So why are the doors not open? And that is because we are being held up by the building inspector for our district. He is of African descent, as am I.
See how he's changing the story now? Yeah, I thought you said he was a Black immigrant from Jamaica. Now he's saying, oh, well, he's African like me. No, that's just Umar trying to clear up his rhetoric. You see that? Because he watches these videos. Yeah, he's changing it up now. Plus, he's in front of Latinos, so he can't say immigrants. Maybe he does, though. Let's see. See how he's flipping it up now? Yeah, this bougie, he's something else. He really is. Yeah, Sequoia, he come up with a whole new thing now. Just see where he goes with this.
But he does not care for Dr. Umar. And he is holding us up from getting our final building inspection, which would successfully result in us receiving our certificate of occupancy.
Yeah, it's not one a final building inspection. And Umar, he lies so much. It's not one final building inspection. He's just making that shit up. Let me real quick, let me read something to you guys, because there's people who are far more knowledgeable about this permits or the certificate of occupancy than I am. So I like to concede to their expertise, if you guys don't mind. This was from Senya. Senya said, I keep saying that this is a scam. I'm a cost accountant that develops downtown Detroit. A certificate of acceptance precedes a certificate of occupancy. And you're right about that. I've actually pulled up that document from the Wilmington website. There's a certificate of acceptance. If Umar/scam artist had the certificate of acceptance, he would be waiving it everywhere. Plus, you can't open a business that discriminates on race, religion, gender, etc. No matter if it's privately funded, it's against the law. Plus, there is no business plan. And all these things are true. No business plan. Right? There was someone else. Let me see. Oh, this was another one. This was a good one too. From Gumbo. Who are these interviewers? They are just as pitiful as those on the Breakfast Club. Nobody has asked, number one, where's your most recent IRS filing for FDMG? We don't even know if he actually filed because it hasn't been public yet. He may not have, because there's years where he doesn't file and then he'll file later. And part of it is because he doesn't want people to see but the financials. So if he can hold off on showing the financials for an extra year, he'll do that. He's done that in the past. Number two, do you have any proof that you scheduled the inspection, which you can do online? You sure can. And he doesn't have any proof. Number three, you claim FDMG does not take money from white people, but now, as of this interview, you will. Okay, all right. What promoted the change? He's talking about white people now and how they're going to be going to the school, right? And then number 4, for years you said your school was for black boys, and your promo material has said that for years. Why the sudden change? 5, have you had the building tested for mold and other issues to make sure it's safe? 6, why do you get so hostile when people ask you what happened to the money? Number 7, did you know that anyone can look at your 501c3 IRS files? Yeah. And then number 8, you say the contractors were a problem. Were these licensed and bonded contractors? And can you provide their names so donors can contact them? All right. Some great comments here. I just want to share that with everybody. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
So we can decorate, have our grand opening, and get ready for our young people. So unfortunately, it does me no great honor to admit that the school is being held up by someone who looks just like me.
See, so it's always an excuse with Umar, but he's changing the narrative. It was a lie in the first place. Initially, he said that it was a black immigrant from Jamaica. Now he's saying it's an African that looks like him. See, but that's because we've been on him about that, right? We called him out on that from day one when he started with that foolishness. But now he's trying to change it. Plus, he's in front of these Latinos, so he's not going to say these immigrants. Real quick, I want to go back to Munya. The school is a state-of-the-art building in an excellent condition per Umar. It just needs HVAC, plumbing, tiles, and renovations. Okay, thank you for this comment right here, and thank you for the super chat again. So I played some aerial view drone footage here. All right, and if you look, you'll see on this building right here, there's a there's a large HVAC unit that's gutted. There's also, you can see it right there too, big time. But there's also other HVAC units. There's one across the street. There's 1, 2, 3 across on the other side of the street. Okay, those are also gutted. And then there's these smaller ancillary ones. Okay, there's 3 over there. You can see those 3 over here. Right, one is totally gone, but there should be 3 right there. Right, so these are all gutted. All of them are gutted, and then of course there's also one on the side right there of that small gym. That one's gutted as well, because we've actually covered that, and I've actually shown that like early on in my coverage dealing with Umar. All this was gutted. Umar complained about it too, because he said it needed to get replaced and blah blah blah. He was going on and on. So clearly, the HVAC situation on these buildings, it's in a deplorable condition. Right, Umar claims that it was $50,000 to purchase one of these larger ones, so that's $200,000. And we go based upon what he says. Never provides any receipts, no transparency. So that's $200,000 right there. And then these smaller ones, who knows? Let's say another, I don't know, $50,000 for all those other 3, and then that smaller one, let's say another $100,000 for those other 3 that's on this side of the street, and then the small one, the other one over here on this the small gym. Okay, so let's say $300,000. Why would you purchase abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware for $400,000 when just to get HVAC units, it's going to cost you $300,000? And that's just to purchase them. Okay, but I want to make a point here. Notice how these HVAC units are gutted. Okay, I want to go now to a video. Listen to what Umar said back in the days from 2019, because this is the same lady. We covered this video recently, who was glazing Umar big time. There was a little boy in there, and this is where Umar makes comments about the little girl's private parts, and this is when he's talking reckless about kids, and this lady was just glazing Umar big time. Okay, you guys remember that? Okay, this is the same lady. Watch this.
Can't respond in text. Wow, look at that.
Why the electrician said.
So for the idiots that be talking about turn the electric on, doc, whatever, that's why. You know, they don't know what they're talking about. I can't stand when people do that. You see this? Man. So they just ripped it out. Wow.
Oh, okay. You see that? It was coming into the roof.
Look at that.
By any means necessary.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot of cat cable coming through there, and this is a whole nother thing dealing with the IT infrastructure that Umar Johnson has to get in order. Ridiculous.
Keep whatever you can, yeah.
That's money.
And this HVAC system, I mean, is it?
That's the
Wow.
HVAC is largely in place from what they on the wall.
Did you hear what Umar said? Someone type it in the chat room. I'll play it again.
Wow.
largely in place from what they told me on the wall.
That's a good thing.
Did y'all hear that?
Well, the HVAC is largely in place from what they told me on the wall.
That's a good thing.
Umar Johnson's, I know, Esteban. How you doing too, by the way, bro? I know that lady, she was tripping. Umar said that the HVAC is largely in place, right? What's up, Mike? What's up, Crystal? Thanks for tuning in. That's what he said. Jimmy Jamboree. Yep, that's what Umar said. But that's not what the evidence shows. This guy, he be lying his ass off. That's what he said. HVAC is largely in place. All right. I'm telling you, this guy, he lies so much, it's incredible. And that lady, she was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, ma'am. That didn't age well. It didn't age well at all. Anyway, just another example of Umar. He lies all the time. You know, it's really ridiculous. Okay, let's get back to the main video. We're going to go for another 26 minutes here. And I want to thank everyone again for tuning on in. The poll question, our goal is to get to 1,000 votes. We're at 954. Are people who platform Umar Johnson complicit in the FDMG school scam? 84% said yes, 16% said no. Okay, and we're at 447 likes. Our goal is 500. So if you're enjoying the show, take a 2 seconds to hit that like button. Okay. Okay. Let me get caught up in the with the super chats real quick. Abdul says the Messiah complex is in the DSM-5. Okay, yeah, I probably need to look that up then. Yeah. Umar definitely has a Messiah complex. Let me take this as a note here. So Messiah complex, DSM-5. Yeah, I've actually talked about this. I talk about it in the documentary too. I give examples of this where Umar he speaks as if he says this. He's the chosen one. He's the Black Christ. He's the Black Messiah. There's another one that yeah, there's another one. I can't remember what it was, but there's one I think it's a radio interview where Umar's talking about when he meditates, he sees himself out in space, which is it's a reference to being in heaven, and he's sitting on a throne looking down upon the earth. Man, he has a Messiah complex. He really does. It's part of the narcissism too. Yeah. Yeah, it's a problem because there's a lot of cult leaders. They have that. They really think that they're special, and that's why they feel like they can control people and then tell people what to do. And they can even gaslight people. They set rules for their followers that they don't even adhere to themselves. They'll change the rules at a whim to fit their own needs and to execute power and control over people. That's what Umar Johnson does. And central to this is the narcissism and then this Messiah complex. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll look this up when I get some time. I wrote it down in my notes here. But thanks, Abdul. U225 says 2 weeks ago, he was literally bashing Afro immigrants. He sure was. He sure was. But all of a sudden, he's inclusive again. And not just inclusive of this Jamaican immigrant who's sabotaging him, right? Now he's inclusive of Latinos. He's talked plenty of shit about Latinos. He's inclusive of East Asians. He's talked a whole lot of shit about East Asians. And then he's accepting of white people now at his school. Isn't that fascinating? And he's talked so much about the white people. All of a sudden. Yeah, fascinating. Thanks, you, 225. Information Man says, at Mama House on interview, sad state of life. No, he will live stream. He will do an interview in his mama closet. He will. See, the thing is, he could go in another room. He can go do it in another room or in another closet. He could, but Umar has issues with paranoia. And he feels like that's the most secure and safe place to where other people, I guess, outside or next door could hear him. That's one of the reasons why he live streams inside of Mama closet. You ever see him live stream inside of his room? I know that room is messy. Anyway, yeah, that's why he live streams inside of Mama closet. So he don't have his own place. If he had his own place, he would have a little area to live stream in. No, he live streams in the Mama closet. It's a damn shame. Yeah. Thank you, Information Man. Salute. TJ says, did Umar coin the phrase or did he steal it? Oh, you talking about Black Queens Forever, Snow Bunnies Never? I don't know. I think he came up with it. I think so. And if anyone has any evidence to the contrary, please let me know. I think he came up with it because Umar does that. You know, he sits around in the mama closet and he's be thinking about shit. Like, okay, I'm gonna call myself Big Papa. There's a Pan Africanism. P-O-P. Oh yeah, Big Papa. That's what he do. King Kong Kong. I want to call myself a monkey. I'm gonna call myself a monkey today. What monkey should I call myself? It's got to be a big monkey. It's got to be a strong monkey. It's got to be a monkey that like white women. I'm gonna call myself King Kong, and I'm conscious, so I'm King Kong. That's what we want to be sitting in Mama Closet doing. Thanks, TJ. U225 says, I'm gonna send my kids to FDMG to rep the Asian nation. You bet not. You bet not. I'm telling you right now, you bet not, the homeboy. I would be irate if you did that. Okay, thanks you the 225. Umar Johnson got 0 Asian money. Only thing we gave. All right. Remember that Asian lady called in and was trolling Umar? That was classic. That was classic. Okay, I'm almost done. We're going to get back to the main video. Abdul says delusional disorder may involve fixed false beliefs of exceptional identity, talent, or significance. I was wrong. It's not in the DSM-5, but the above is. Okay, so you're saying that the Messiah complex is not in the DSM-5. Yeah, but it could fall under narcissism, though. It wouldn't be defined as the Messiah complex, but it would fall, the characteristics that's associated with someone who has Messiah complex, it probably would fall under narcissistic personality disorder. And delusional disorder, this could be part of it too. May involve fixed false beliefs of exceptional identity. That's Umar. Talent, yeah, he thinks he's the biggest thing ever. Or significance, yeah, I'm the most requested, right? I'm saving all these black boys. None of that's true. It's delusional. Anyway, thank you, Abdul. Yeah. And then you said delusional disorder. Yeah, I'm a little bit aware of that one. Disorder. Okay. Shoot, I should probably get me a DSM-5. Real talk. Anyway, that way I can have it and we can open it up and we can look at all this stuff dealing with Umar. Thanks, Abdul, for the super chat. I appreciate it. And then TJ says, did Brother Jose install it? No. Brother Jose never installed anything. That was a whole nother saga, the Brother Jose saga. Shout out to Brother Jose. Okay. All right, thanks, TJ. Okay, let's get back to the main video. We're going to go for another 19 minutes, everyone. Here we go.
Dr. Umar.
No, you were mentioning something.
I wanted to. I'm curious because obviously you're leading big movements. You're influencing millions of people. You're building schools, and one of our signature questions here in the space of solace is, what is something that Dr. Umar struggles with and privately that you don't?
Here we go. Here we go. By the way, James had asked the question, wasn't there a video when Umar was giving a tour and a young teen asked Umar how much he paid for those buildings? Didn't he tell the boy $400K? I don't remember. I remember the boy asked, but I don't remember what the figure was or even if Umar answered that. Yeah, that would have been in 2019. We covered that. And then Umar was calling the boy Smedium. I remember that. He kept calling the little boy Smedium, like teasing him. Was he standing at the gym door while Umar was trying to open the gym? He was standing at he was opening up some door. I can't remember if it was the gym or not. Yeah, I remember that. We covered it years ago, but I don't remember what the video was. See, that's what I mean. I got to find the full version of the video where that lady, they're looking up and Umar says, there's a massive hole in the roof. And then Umar Johnson says the HVAC units are largely intact. And then he said, that's what they told me in the walkthrough. The walkthrough was in 2017. That's what I would think, unless he did a walkthrough prior to purchasing the trap bundles in February of 2019. But it goes to show a couple of things. Number one, that either Umar Johnson lied to the lady, which is more likely, and that he never got these buildings inspected prior to purchasing them, which is also likely, or Umar he didn't know the conditions of the HVAC units because he never got an inspection done. And so if you don't know the condition of the units, how can you say that they're largely intact? And that's what you were told during the walkthrough. Well, if you had a walkthrough, that would have been a professionals that would have to come through to look at stuff, and you would know for sure. And if you did have that take place, you would have known that these things were gutted. So either way, he's a liar. It's just to what degree. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure I could find the video. It's just that it would take a while. There's a lot of tour videos, but I remember that one in particular because there was a little it was a boy that Umar, he kept calling him Smedium. Yeah, that was in it could have been in 2020 though, because the lights were off. It could be 2019 or 2020. Yeah, I'll look and see what I can find, but I do remember that. And shout out to James too, by the way. Okay, all right. Let's get back to the main video. Here we go.
Talk about publicly.
Mm-hmm.
In the space of solaces, what is something that Dr. Umar struggles with in privately that you don't talk about publicly?
Smoking crack. I'll just play. Anyway, let's keep going. Or am I? I don't know. Or am I playing? I don't know.
Wow. You may be the first person to ask that question that way ever. Others may have asked the question in a different way, but I've never gotten it just like that from anyone ever. That was powerful.
So what? Just answer the question, you big goofy. He always got to do this. What's up, Gold Child? Hey, Vixen, how you doing? He always got to make it. He just Mama Claudia.
I'm gonna give you two, and they're kind of related. Number one is being unmarried. A lot of people, not just in my community, but across cultures, because as you guys know, I'm followed by people of every race. And I've been accused of being a womanizer, ladies' man.
You are. That's why you always talking about crushing cookies, and all these women have come out to expose you, you nasty freak. Was it this year that there was a young lady who was in her 20s that alleged, and she went to take care of Umar's mama, because he gets these women to come take care of his mama so he can go and finagle and crush other cookies in other states and area codes. But this young lady was in her early 20s. Umar, he's 50, 51. Why you crushing? She alleged, and I believe it, that she would take care of the mama because she ain't got no skill to do that. But he had her come take care of a filthy house. And inevitably he crushed her cookies. And that's in 2026, right? So what you talking about, Umar? We have a long history. You got the bumpity bump on your lip. There's a reason. Well, let me stop because I shouldn't say that's anyway, because that's a whole nother thing. My goodness. Let's keep going.
And whatever the case may be. And that would be true if we went back maybe 10 years ago. I did have that.
In 10 years ago, what are you talking about? So back in 2015, you was a male hoe only? You still a male hoe. What you talking about? This young lady was I can't remember how old she was. Is James in the building? I think she was 22 or something like that when he crushed the cookie. But Umar, he said, yeah, 10 years ago, I was a nasty freak, but I'm not now. What's up, Ray? Yeah. Well, Umar, he an area code crusher. He don't discriminate. Yeah, she was 25, something like that, 25. He 23, something like that, but he's 51. Why are you crushing the cookies of the allegedly? That's what she said. I believe it, but by the way. What I do? What did I do? Okay, let's keep going.
Period for a minute. When I first blew up, I had to get control of myself.
This guy, I can't believe he trying to act like he done turned over a new leaf. You still a male hoe. You was a hoe then, you a hoe now. Umar's favorite part of Game of Thrones is Hodor. Hold the door, hold the door, hold the door, hold the door. Cut it out.
But I've had control of myself for some time now. And one of the things I struggle with.
If you had control of yourself, you cookie crushing freak. And why are you dealing with these young ladies like that?
Is not having that wife on my arm for black boys to see right now. So one of the things that people would not know that I struggle with is being single. Most people would think I embrace it and I see it as some sort of a badge of honor.
Oh, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about, Umar? You be running your mouth. It's a badge. Some people think you see it as a badge. No, you a male hoe. What are you talking about? You've been living like this. That's why you got all these baby mamas out here. You know, I got myself together now. And also, some people think that I because I'm a nasty freak, that it's a badge of honor. I don't believe that. Say, Umar, stop. You're playing games now. Somebody said it earlier. You're a freaky frog, a black conscious.
Nothing could be further from the truth, because all of my ancestors, all of my heroes were married. All of them. Carter G. Woodson never married. Shaka Zulu of South Africa never married. But 99% of all of my heroes were married. And I'm not. Okay. Right? So that's a contradiction for me. Now, what gives me solace in...
Oh, cut it out. He's so drama. He really is. He's drama. Now, what gives solace for me is when I crush the cookies. I crush the cookies raw. With no commitment. I don't commit. I hit and I quit. I don't have no time to talk. I just want to get there and bark, bark, bark. Remember he was doing that? He was acting like he was a chicken or something like that. I was like, oh, this guy crazy. Okay, let's keep going. We got 1,000 people, but make sure you hit that like button if you enjoy the show.
Saying that is, I've also been told through divination. I practice Ifa, the Yoruba system of spirituality out of Nigeria. And in a conversation with a Babalawo I had in New York City back in 2017, 9 years ago, he told me that the school would come before my wife comes. He said, focus on getting...
Damn. You ain't gonna never get no wife then. If that's what it is, then you ain't never getting no wife, homeboy. You might as well hang it up. I'm going to get a wife as soon as the school opens. It's going to open September 11, 2013. It's going to open in 2014, 2015, 2016. It's coming. It's coming. My wife is coming. It's going to open in 2017 and also 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. My wife is on the way. 24, 25. Now it's going to open 26. But guess what? I've changed the grand opening date to August 2027. And my wife is on the way. So you need to stop. Yeah, he's 51. I know I'm 51, but this guy... It said, you might as well hang it up, Umar. It's over with, homeboy, and your mama closet. What woman gonna want to marry a man who be live streaming in their mama closet? Any of you women? Yeah, baby. What you doing tonight? Oh, I'm live streaming in my mama closet. Is any of you women? Come on, Umar. You're not gonna get married live streaming in your mama closet. Come on. I'm asking the women in the chat because I don't know. Maybe this 2026. So hey, I don't know. It's different.
The school done spiritually, you will not get married until the school is ready, because that's part of your mission. It might not be your entire mission, but it's a big part of it. And so the school got to come before the wife comes. And so I'm able to live with myself.
He's so dramatic. I'm able to live with myself with this because the mission is so important. And FDMG is opening. I'm going to have to be patient with my wifey, although I will crush cookies whenever I can.
Because spiritually, I've been informed, and I believe it to be true, that the mission is more important than marriage.
See? Here, didn't I just tell y'all that?
So once the school has been approved, that's when I'll start seriously looking for my two queens. But
what in the world? So when he gets the certificate of occupancy now, that's what I said when it opens. Which one is it? You know what's crazy about this is he's been talking about getting wifeys and how serious he was since I think it was 2010. It may have been later. Let me take that back. I can pull up my notes and see, like, when did Umar start talking? Because he was talking about wifey resumes. You guys remember this? It's goofy. Let me play something for y'all. Then we're gonna wind this down. We're gonna go to 2000. This is 2011. This is. I just want to play some because I remember seeing this and I was like, this guy, he's nuts. Yeah. This is one of the most egregious videos that Umar Johnson has ever done. It's a message to Black women. It's a seminar, and I do a full breakdown in a documentary for this one because he grooms these women throughout. But I want you guys to hear what he said right here at the 31-minute mark. Check this out.
Now I'm working. I'm to school.
I'm sorry. Here we go.
Your daughter writing letters talking about something she wanted to hurt herself, and y'all staying married because you both Christian, and that's the way it's supposed to be? So the children got to catch hell so y'all can save face at that mega church y'all belong to? Are y'all with me? I totally respect people who stay together until the students go to college and then they separate. I respect it. But don't do it at the expense of the children's emotional health. If that man is beating on you, cursing you out, whipping your son up like that, so much so that DHS got to come out, that's a man you need to leave before he kill you.
Yeah, this is Umar projecting right here.
And then you will be separated. Here we go. Many men have 4 women in their life. Not all. Some of them got 1 woman and they happily with that one. I totally reject the notion that Black men cannot be satisfied by 1 woman and can't commit to only 1 woman. Okay? But if you want the honest truth is that a lot of brothers tend to have a 4-woman rotation or less. Okay? First there's the wife.
This is some bull jive right here. You hear this guy talking?
It's the one he married 10 years ago. Don't know why he did it now, but he married it 10 years ago. You got the ring on. Okay, then there's the wifey. Who's the wifey? The wifey is when the queen and the wife are not acting right. She the #1 contender to become the wife or the queen. You feel me? The baby girl.
Say contender as if they're in competition. This guy, he's sick.
The wife are not acting right. She the #1 contender to become the wife or the queen. You feel me? The baby girl, that's the one he can have a good time with without any talk of commitment. This usually is his source of comfort and peace of mind. They tend to be good friends, but she'll never get up here. Who's #1 in his life? The queen. The problem with the queen is he lives for the queen. He rides for the queen. All he think about is the queen, but he is not that important to her. I'm gonna give it to
Huh?
you again. I'm gonna give it to you
What
again.
are you talking about?
You got the wife. This is the one I married 10 years ago, right? I don't know why though. All right? Then I got the wifey. The wifey is the #1 contender. If
This is some ghetto shit.
I do get divorced, she might get married. If the queen leaves me because I want the queen more than the queen wants me, I'm chasing her around, but she really don't want me. That's part of the attraction. Okay?
Huh?
Then the wifey could end up being the queen or the wife, but she's in the #1 contender spot. And she cool with that. She gonna wait her time. She may get it, she may not. And then there's the baby girl. The baby girl might want to move up, or she might like where she is, because when he's with his baby girl, all they do is have fun. And it ain't just sex. They go out, they have a good time, they're good
What in the world?
friends. She's his baby girl. You understand?
No.
But the point is, the wife ain't really threatened by the baby girl. She's threatened by the wifey. But what she failed to realize is, although he's sleeping with her, he wished he was sleeping with his queen.
What in the world? So the queen, the wife, the wifey, and the baby girl. This guy is sick.
The question ain't whether you married to a man. The question is, are you his wife?
Yeah, Vixa. This is Umar projecting his sexual deviancy. This is the fantasy. This is what and he want all of them in the bed too. He into that P. Diddy baby oil shit.
Wife and his queen. That's the question. Okay? Wife, that's the paper from City Hall with the ring on your finger, but are you his queen? Does he ride out for you? And I'm going to say this to you black women, and I want you to think about it because I'm talking to you like I talk to my 6 sisters.
If you don't cut it out.
When you know that your man is cheating, and I got this on the slides, but I'm going to go to it right now because it's urgent. When you find out your man is cheating, the first thing you're supposed to do is nothing. Listen to me. You're supposed to do nothing until you calm the hell down and decide. Let me get a drink of water.
Yeah, this is one of the most egregious videos. I do a whole breakdown of this, like step by step by step. It's fascinating. Okay, this guy, he's so deviant. I want to play one other thing since we on the wifey thing. Check this out.
Dr. Umar wants a wife. I got to go between amongst the 16 elders, couples, and apply for a wife. And they interview me, they see if I'm ready, and then I have to go to a mandatory manhood training program.
Oh, shut the. What are you talking about?
Oh, yes, look at the brothers. I ain't say all that shit. Okay? And then after I go through the program, they say, okay, you can have your first wife. So all the women are organized. So we know who need a husband and who looking for one. So they say, okay, Dr. Umar, your first wife can come from the A group. The A group are women who never been married. No kids, no nothing. They gorgeous, they fine, they the ones every man dream about marrying. But you only get one, black man. When you're ready for your second wife, and you can only have a second wife after you've been married to the first wife for 3 to 5 years, because we got to make sure you know what the hell you're doing first. There is no 2 at the same time. There's 1 and 1 later. So then you come back for your second wife. The elders say, okay, we're going to give you another wife. They talk to the first wife, talk to the kids. They say you get a second wife, and then guess what happens? You get a wife from the B group. These are sisters who might have been divorced. These are sisters who got a little bit of baggage, but it ain't much. They still got it going on. They might got a couple kids, but they got it going on. So you get your second wife from the B group. So then a couple years go by, and you say, I'm really liking this. So then you go to the elders again for your third wife. So they say, okay, you check out. You got enough money. You can take care of it. Your 2 wives are happy. We're going to give you a third wife, and she's going to come from the C group. Now, C means be a little bit more careful this time around. Now, women in the C group got a little bit more baggage. Some of them can have kids at all. Some of them got permanent STDs. Some of them got terminal illnesses. They got some baggage. But if you So you get your second wife from the B group. So then a couple years go by, and you say, I'm really liking this. So then you go to the elders again for your third wife. So they say, okay, you check out, you got enough money, you can take care of it, your two wives are happy, we're gonna give you a third wife, and she's gonna come from the C group. Now C means be a little bit more careful this time around. Now, women in the C group got a little bit more baggage. Some of them can't have kids at all. Some of them got permanent STDs. Some of them got terminal illnesses. They got some baggage. But if you claim to be taking on a third wife for the sake of the community, then you're going to take on one who needs a husband, not necessarily what you want. See, black men, a lot of us think that if we're going to have more than one wife, we're just going to take all the good-looking women in Louisville with no kids and leave all the other women. It don't work like that. Under a true polygamous arrangement, a woman with 10 kids and no education has just as much chance of getting married as the best-looking queen in Louisville. It must be equitable for all the women, not just the good-looking sisters. So then, in my system, you only get 4 wives. So I go for my last wife. They say, okay, you get your 4th wife. She coming from the D list.
This guy's sick. He's sick.
Do you know what D stand for? Dangerous. Now, who's in the D list? These sisters, they got a little bit more back. Some of them did hard time for shooting it.
Something wrong with this guy.
She might got 2 or 3 strikes. She might have shot her baby dad by accident. She ain't know it was him coming in. Okay? She might.
There you go.
I got a little bit of Adderall, some Riddled, some Zoloft. She got a little prescription. She might see things once in a while. Okay? But that's your 4th wife. Now, fellas, before you criticize the 4th wife, think about it. She got a record. She know how to rumble. So
this guy, he's so deviant.
Guess what? Anytime you got beef, she got you. In fact, your 4th wife is going to keep the other 3 in line. Hold tight. She come in the house. Boom! My husband told you to have them kids clean. He told you to have the food. And he told you to pay the bills. So this is what I'm going to do because I feel myself about to snap. I'm going to walk to the store and get me 2 Lucy's. And by the time I come back, you better have it right or I'm going to bust a cat. She the best wife you got. You got beef? Dr. Umar, I'm having a lecture, right? Y'all don't want to stand in line for me to sign the books? She going to handle it. Ain't no books getting signed until I see a line from my man. And then she take off that ski mask and you see one eye. And you know she not playing with you. You running late, you coming home late. You just got a phone call. Somebody jumped your son at the school. 10 guys is beating your son down. You call your wife. You all on the other side of town. Baby, I'm on my way, but I know you close. Can you just go by there and try to grab John up? They said he getting beat up. Baby, stay put. I'm your wife. No, baby, don't do nothing crazy. I just want you to grab. Baby, you gotta trust me. We took a vow. So guess what? 10 minutes later, you trying to get to the school as fast as you can because you know she ain't got no sense. But before you can get to the school, the news came across. There was a drive-by at the local elementary school. 10 kids is laying in the street. You say, baby, I hope that wasn't you. But what do you think I would do? I'm your baby. In conclusion, Black Louisville, I want to say that this first visit was a very beautiful one for me.
Man, this guy. Anyway, that he wants a wife, evidently. Yeah, he's supposed to be a school psychologist. QB, he talking about a drive-by at a local elementary school, and there's 10 kids laid out. Yeah, it is. Yeah, man, it's just awful. Just awful. Yeah, if y'all don't hit the like button, we almost done. Let's start winding this down. Boy, I'll tell you, sometimes Umar, Anyway, let's get a little bit more. Let's let him finish his thoughts on the whole marriage thing, and then we'll come back tomorrow to finish this particular video up. They shout in one side of cook. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being patient as well. If you haven't hit that like button, take a second or two to hit it, because that helps tremendously to get this out into the algorithm. Our goal for likes was 400, and we're at 514. So thank you so much. We got the goal plus some. And then let me go ahead and close off this poll, because we got over 1,000 votes on the poll. Are people who platform Umar Johnson complicit in the FDMG school scam? 84% said yes, and 16% said no. Thanks to everyone who voted on that poll. I appreciate it. And then we'll take maybe another 4 or 5 minutes, depending on how long he talks on this whole wifey thing, and then we'll close this out. Okay, thank you guys again. All right, here we go.
One thing not being married and yet being followed by so many young Black children all over the world.
This guy, he's delusional.
Okay. When I go to these universities, and I'm the most popular university guest lecturer, probably
this again, narcissism
in history for Black people. I don't.
Boy, this guy, he's nuts.
I think there's been another university guest lecturer who has been more popular than me in history. But when I go, I know how much more it would mean to walk in there with my wife next to me. So that's number one. And the other thing that will always hurt me, like if you say, somebody said, what's the one thing that if he's somewhere a little unhappy, what would that be? And it would be my 2 daughters. I have a 14 and a 24-year-old, 2 daughters, 14 and 24-year-old girls, right? I love them to death. Those 2 and my mother, that's the Trinity.
He's a deadbeat. He don't even take care of his kids or spend time with them. Last year, his daughter came out and exposed him as a deadbeat, and also alleged that he used to beat on her mama. So what are you talking about? You love him to death. You don't know what love is. Cut it out.
In my heart. And I was not allowed to be present in the lives of.
No. You did not. You chose not to be, and you still choose not to be. But that's in their best interest anyway, because you're batshit crazy. Ain't no telling what kind of craziness you done put these baby mamas through.
My daughters the way in which I wanted to, and am still struggling to do now.
You're still struggling to do now, but we covered a video last week where you were talking about how you had mended the relationships with your daughter, Umar. So which one is it? Hit the one. I don't even remember what video that was. You guys remember that? Hit the one. You still struggling with it, but you said it was last week or the week before. You said how you had made amends with your daughters and you were in their lives. You see, that's the thing. You lie so much, and the more you run your mouth, the more you just get exposed. You self-expose. Yeah. You guys remember that? I don't remember what video it was, but we were sitting back like, oh, okay. So now all of a sudden you done remedied. You've been absent for decades in your children's lives, but then all of a sudden everything's cool. Well, if that's the case, why are you saying right now that it's still anyway? This guy, he all over the place. Yeah, Renee. He lies. That's all he do is lie. All right, let's wind this down. Here we go.
And so on any given day, if you say what's bothering, I wanted to, and am still struggling to do now. And so on any given day, if you say what's bothering Doc, I'm thinking about my girls. And I'm wondering how long before the ancestors send me the 2 queens that I need to.
Okay, again, these are our 2 issues with Umar. He does not know how to be a man, which translates into later on down the line, knowing how to be a father. Okay. And even after being a man, knowing how to be a husband. He doesn't know, because functionally speaking, in society, Umar operates like a little boy who needs other people to take care of him. That's why he's always asking for donations. He doesn't have his own place, doesn't have his own car, doesn't have a job or a legitimate business. He's non-committal. He's sexually exploiting these Black women with the bumpity bump on his lip. He don't pay bills on time. He don't take care of his kids. He's a child. And the only way that Umar Johnson has been able to survive in society is through the donations of other people. But in order to be able to materialize yourself as a man, you have to be responsible on many different levels. And then in order to materialize yourself as a potential partner for a woman, as a husband, you have to be prepared for the responsibilities associated with that, but also you have to know how to love somebody, which Umar does not know. He doesn't know how to love. That's why he can't speak of love. When was the last time you heard Umar talk about love? I'm talking about his own personal experience. And what does that mean exactly? He can't tell you that. He's busy talking about 4 wives and how one of them's going to be all ghetto and shit and busting drive-bys. He don't know nothing about none of that. And so to even be prepared for marriage, he doesn't understand that. He doesn't know what that means, the commitment needed for that, the sacrifices that people have to make in order to make a relationship functional and a marriage functional, the challenges, the ups and the downs. He doesn't know anything about that. He can't speak from a place of wisdom. He speaks from a place of ignorance and arrogance. Because he don't know what he's talking about. That's the ignorance. But the arrogance is he thinks he knows what he's talking about. And he thinks that he's the prize for these women out here. And then, of course, the next phase is the marriage and be able to work a marriage, but then also to have children and then be a father to your children. He doesn't know what that is about either. So he gets on these platforms and talks, but he comes from no practical experience. There's no wisdom there. He's just running his mouth. Okay.
Finish this work, because if I had a wife before 2010, when I blew up out of nowhere, Chicago and New York, it was like magic. It was miraculous. If I already had a wife in place, I know I would be so much further along in my mission.
You're not prepared for marriage, Umar. You're not even prepared for relationships. You're not even prepared. You're not even a man. You live streaming inside of your mama closet, living off your mama at the age of 51 in Section 8 housing. But you got everything to say about everybody else. You're undeserving of a relationship because you're a male hoe at 51. You do realize you're 51 and you're a male hoe. You're not ready. You're not married for marriage. You're not ready for marriage. And no, you're not ready to be a father either. I mean, last year proved that to be the case. Your child support docket proves that to be a case, you deadbeat. But you get up on here and run your mouth. We're almost done. Let's finish up. Here we go.
That I am now. When you're serious about this work like I am, you see firsthand how not having a trusted mate in your queen really hinders your progress.
Yeah, but see, you're not trustworthy in the first place. You're not even deserving, so you shouldn't be talking.
I appreciate you sharing that with us.
All right, let's close it out right here. We're going to come back tomorrow and we'll finish up right here. Okay, we're at like the 20-minute mark. We'll say 19 minutes and 50 seconds. I'll set the show up right after this, and we should be able to have a shorter show tomorrow. I wasn't planning on live stream, but I want to make sure we get this done. So we'll be back tomorrow. We'll get right on into it. I won't be live streaming on Thursday. I do have time off I didn't have Juneteenth off either, but I have time off for 4th of July, and I'm going to take PTO. So I'm going to get basically, I'll have like a week off altogether. So we'll probably do a marathon, okay, over that weekend. Okay. I want to thank everyone for tuning on in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Abdul also said the FDMG embellishment master and convoluted. Yeah, that's the key word. I just want people to remember is embellishment, because these con artists and these con artist types, same thing with Jay Morrison, he's the same way. They embellish things. Okay, and it can be to the extreme going in the positive or the extreme going into the negative, but they always embellish things. And Umar has a history of that, dealing with this FDMG school scam. He embellishes that he says they have 4 buildings. I have him on record saying that there's 5, but there's 3. Okay, that when the EPA went up there, the Environmental Protection Agency went up there and did an area-wide plan for that area. They identified 3 buildings. Okay, that's the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. It's 3 buildings. You can even look at the area view and you'll see it's 3 buildings. But Umar will embellish it because he wants to make it seem as if this is a great purchase. We got 4 buildings. It's state of the art. No, it's not. That's embellishment. And then on the flip side, he'll say stuff like, there's this immigrant who's trying to sabotage me. He's embellishing things. Now, it's more likely that Umar Johnson put in for a certificate of occupancy and it didn't pass. But I don't think he put in for one, because if he put in for one and it didn't pass, it'd be public record. I haven't found it. But he has to concoct these stories, and it's about, they're trying to sabotage me. You know, they stole the FDMG domain name from me. Everything is embellishment with this guy, whether it's for the positive or for the negative. It's for the positive to kind of make people feel as if he's all great, and then the negative so that he appears to be the perpetual victim. How are you the perpetual victim, Umar, when you also believe that you're the Black Messiah? Make it make sense. You said that you're the Black Christ. You said that you're the Black Messiah. You said that you're the greatest of all time. I'm the scholar. But how is it that you're all of those things, but you're always a perpetual victim? All right. Thank you, Abdul. TJ says the jokes write themselves. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's turned himself into a minstrel show. He really has. And he thinks that somehow that type of attention means that he's some great leader. No, he's a buffoon, and he will be remembered as such. I guarantee it. Thank you, TJ. Godzilla Princess says, excuse maker. That's what he does. Umar is a master excuse maker. He has excuses lined up way in advance before he even brings them out, because he wants to continue to manipulate people into believing lies as being true. The whole thing about, he may have to go and sue the city. He foreshadowed that. He stated that last year. In fact, he said that on the Breakfast Club back in 2024. When he said the school was open, he's also stated that he may have to go to court for the certificate of occupancy. And then here we are now in 2026. See this? Okay, so he creates excuses. He has them lined up way in advance, and then some people fall for it for some reason. I don't get that part. Thanks, you guys, little princess. All right, and then Victor, Victor says, how two queens supposed to fit in the mama closet? That's what I'm saying. But Umar said he wants 4. You don't have your own place. You don't have your own vehicle. You don't have a job. You don't have a legitimate business. You're living off your mama at the age of 51. You already got 3 baby mamas and don't take care of none of your kids. Don't pay child support on time, but you want 4 wives? You can't even take care of yourself. What you talking about? Or maybe they're going to be working for you. Okay, polite. Maybe that's what it is. Either, okay, I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you, Victor. Okay, thank you guys, everyone, for tuning on in. I appreciate y'all's presence. We'll be back. I'm going to set the show right after this live stream. Thanks, and also thanks to the mods for handling business. Also, thanks to everyone inside the Cook Chat for taking the time to tune in. A wonderful show. I had a wonderful time. We'll be back tomorrow. Also, thanks to everyone who sent in. If you send the super chats or super stickers, thank you for the support. I cannot stress enough my appreciation, and I mean that humbly and sincerely. Okay, thank you so much. All right. And as we always do, Cookie Crush Chats undefeated. Let's go.
With my message. Thank you, Sister Avanti, $10 coming on the Cash App. Thank you, sister. Next time, make it 20. But thank you for that 10. I know you barely had that. Thank you, sister.
All right, Black Mario. Next time, make it 20. Scammer Vision is the album. Bando Records is the label. I did the answer.
I appreciate that $10 donation.
Shout out to Cookie Crush Chats undefeated.
I really do.
Let's go.
But next
up,
time, make it 20.
Thanks, Francisca.
20.
She came up smiling after the program was through. Said, brother, here's $10. I'm supporting you. I looked at the queen and I nodded my head.
Yeah, me too,
Thank
Victor.
you, sister. Then this is what I said.
Next time,
Thanks,
make it
Crystal.
20.
Times are hard, I understand. Everybody doing the best they can, but dreams this big take more than hope. We're trying to build, not barely cope. Everybody saying we not risking flat tires. We not selling water ices.
Hey, mate.
We building institutions, family. We not risking flat tires. We not selling water ices. We building institutions, family. Next time, make it 20. If the blessings come your way, I appreciate the 10. But here's what I gotta say.
What's
Next
up,
time, make it 20.
Have a good night.
Let the whole congregation see.
All my mama would see.
We building institutions, family.
Soft pretzel cake. That's crazy. Yeah. Good night, Mary Henry Jonathan.
People asking questions every single day.
What's up, Joshua?
How you gonna build it? How you gonna pay? I say one donation, one dream at a time.
That's my homeboy right there.
Everybody pitching in to help us climb. This ain't about quick fixes. This ain't about little gimmicks. Trying to leave something standing tall for the next generation and all.
Hey, this time, thank you so much for tuning in. We not fixing flat tires.
Selling water ices.
Yep.
We building institutions, family. We not fisking flat tires.
Yeah, I know, Jimmy. That's crazy.
Selling water ices. We building institutions.
Yeah, this is AI. But Black Morrow did the prompt. He did a great job. Him and Cole, they do a great job. It's really good.
I appreciate
no, this was in Congo. This one is Black Morrow. But both of them, they're really good at it.
Next time, make it 20. Let the whole congregation see. We not fisking flat tires. We building institutions, family. Institution builders.
Thanks, MP friend. Hey, Soldier, how you doing? Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.
What we not doing? We not fisking flat tires. What else?
Yeah,
we selling water ices. One more time. One more time. We doing it. We building institutions, family.
Yeah, don't nobody know about this right here.
Now everybody clap your hands. Left side sing.
Yeah, you're right, Sakina. Yep.
What's
up, Michael?
Right side sing. Everybody together. We build an institution. Family.
Yeah. You so welcome. Thanks for tuning in to the rush. Hope you're doing all right.
I appreciate
thanks, Afro Punk, for tuning in.
And I appreciate you too.
I like this part right here.
Next time, make it 20. That's the message for today.
Yeah, he has two daughters. I don't know about the third child.
We not fisking flat tires. We not selling water ices. We building institutions.
Yeah, thanks for a second. They go, that's Miguel Haxon. Thank you, B. Highly opinionated. And thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.
We building institutions, family. Next time, make it 20.
20. Yeah. All right. Shout out to Black Morrow. All right. Thank you guys so much again for tuning on in. I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. You guys are the best. Good question. That's undefeated. Ready off for Robin says he gonna send his supporters on a dummy mission with the city. Well, remember back in the day, he had another dummy mission. It's called a fool's errand. This last thing, a fool's errand. I think it was in 2020. Umar had a protest. It was called an anti-protest for a protest. Because he was saying that there were people who were going to protest. I guess me, I was going to be part of it. We're going to protest FDMG. We're going to show up there. No one showed up. So these people are out there standing inside the cold, these Umar Johnson supporters, and it's a dummy mission because they're having a protest, an anti-protest against a protest that didn't even happen in the first place. So ain't no telling. He may turn this into, he has to sue the city and have his followers up there again on a dummy mission. All right. We'll have to wait and see. We will cover it. I'll tell you that. Whatever happens, we will cover it. Okay. Thank you, Rated R For Robin, thanks to everyone for tuning on in. Everyone inside the Cook Chat. You guys are the best. We'll be back tomorrow to finish up with this video. It'll be a shorter show for sure. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to the mods too for handling business. And also, again, thanks for all of the support in the Cookie Crush chat. For those of y'all who enjoyed the show, you sent the super chat, super stickers, or if you hit that like button or vote on the poll, thank you for all the support. I really do appreciate it. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, love y'all. Take care. Peace.